Hello there. Welcome back, everyone, to another This Is Where the Stream Begins. And today we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian and Grogu. Happy to have you guys back here and happy to be talking about this movie because I got to say, really enjoyed it. And I hope you did too. Man, what a great experience it's been to be back in the movie theaters, seeing a Star Wars movie and just actually really enjoying it for the most part. Yeah, man, it's been really awesome stuff. So had to have the Anzellans and Grogu up here on the screen because they are honestly a big vibe right now. This is where I want to be. I want to be a small little green alien riding around in a speeder with three other small aliens and just going on an adventure. What a life that could be. But instead, eh, next best thing is being here and talking with you guys about Star Wars and action figures, specifically 3.75 plastic Star Wars action figures. So really cool. And while I don't have a guest on today, I do have someone to help me out with it. And we have Yodi right here. Say what's up to everyone. Of course, this guy is pretty famous at the moment on the screen and all that. So yeah, apparently I got to get him his nice Beskar pauldron or like his rondelle and his little strap and like his satchel because that was really a vibe, man. I was really digging that whole vibe. And also just like, yeah, seeing him use the force and just get on some Yoda vibes was pretty amazing. So we're going to have him over here just kind of hanging out and doing some stream stuff. But yeah, man, let's see who we got in the chat. Of course, we have none other than Sci-Fi Dude, always bringing the energy. What's up, man? Appreciate you as always. Great stuff. Who else do we have here? Nicholas, hello there, man. Nice to have you in the chat. I know you're in a different time zone on the other part of the world, in another distant galaxy. Who else do we have here? Nightrex92, I was able to watch on app. Right on. Cool, man. Glad you could be here. Thanks for tuning in. What's up, Jabba? Hi all. Jeff Russell, Star Wars back in theaters, baby. Totally. I'm so here for it. I hope you guys really enjoyed the movie because it was a good time. Howard Under Base, what's up, man? Great to see you. And then we also have Naxter81. Now that Grogu can walk, can we call him Toddler Yoda? That's a good question. And I actually thought about something before like we hopped on a stream today. So question, let's just start off with this. Do you think Grogu's grown at all? Like has he grown an inch? Is he any taller? Does he look a little bigger? And I only bring this up because I recently got an Action Verse item, which I never get that like kitty toy line stuff, but I wanted the Anzellan ship, which sneak peek before we dive into stuff, I got and I actually customized, and I'll show that off in a second, but it comes with like a Grogu figure and he doesn't scale perfectly for like 375 stuff unless Grogu like grew up a little bit and had like a growth spurt. Actually, let me just grab it right now real quick. And then bring it in and give you like kind of like a size comparison here. So you can see it's like significantly taller than your average Grogu figure. So I was kind of looking at it and like, I can't really use this thing, but it sucks because it does have like the armor piece and whatever. But then it made me think, I was like, has Grogu grown at all? Is he like an inch taller, half inch? What's his like growth rate? Like, is his ears getting a little longer? Is he have a little bit more hair on top of his head? Or is he have less? Is he balding? Like, I have so many questions when it comes to Grogu, especially like the whole age thing. So he's like 50 when Mandu found him. It's been a couple years now. So like, what's his age? Has he aged by like 10 years, 20? Like, what's going on, Grogu? I need to know more about you. But yeah, I think toddler Yoda might be a thing in the future. And then we'll get to adolescent Yoda or adolescent Grogu. My Star Wars guys, what's up, man? Great to see you here. Maybe he can be TVC compatible future Grogu. Maybe. But yeah, let's go back to that Anzellan ship actually, because I know how Runner Base wanted me to do like a tutorial on how I did this, and I did like take some reference photos and a little bit of video. So I'll probably make a very short, quick how-to because honestly, the process for this is not that difficult. So essentially, all I did was tape off the windows with like some blue tape and like kind of like really form them to the windows themselves. and then like score it with a X-Acto, like a really sharp X-Acto knife to like cut them so they're perfect like stickers covering up the windows. And then all I did was get some like silver spray paint from like Home Depot. I think it's called bright aluminum, if my memory serves correct. It's like one of two like silvers that they actually carry, and it was like perfect. So did that, sprayed it all over, and then I also taped off like the little like yellow paint marks and stuff, so I didn't have to redo that at all. So you just peel that back after you painted everything, it's still there. And like it's got a couple chip marks in it that you can see from like the original paint job, and that kind of all blends in nicely with the like silver, especially because I then went in with a black wash, like a Vallejo black wash, and kind of just give it like a light weathering here and there because this thing's not too dirty. It's actually got like a couple rust marks on this like top area here that I saw in like the reference photos and like Adam Savage's visit to like the ILM like prop department or whatever. But I haven't gone that far yet. I just gave it like a black wash and then eventually sealed that in with like a Krylon matte clear coat because that Vallejo wash really gets kind of like sticky. It's kind of annoying. Sometimes I prefer to use just like regular acrylics to black wash, but yeah, overall it turned out pretty good. The only place I went a little bit heavy was on these like thrusters back here, just because I kind of wanted them to have a little bit of like a, I don't know, like a burn mark or like they've been dealing with a lot of heat and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, I think this thing looks pretty cool. Now, is it perfect and like worthy of not getting a TVC version? No. I would love them to do an actual TVC version that has like the opening like landing like not the landing gear, but like the off ramp or whatever, so they can come in and out of it. We also need all 4 Enzellins because we don't have all the Enzellins, so that would be pretty cool too. But yeah, for now, this will do well when I get to do some shots and stuff like that. But yeah, Enzellin ship, what a vibe! Love this thing. Have any of you guys picked up this Action Verse thing? I feel like a couple people have already asked me about it, like how to customize it and whatever. So it seems like something that people kind of want to have in their collections because the Enzellins are really speaking to people. So yeah, let's see who else we got in the chat. Can you make your window bigger so we can see it? Oh man, my bad, dude. I was so on the Grogu vibes. Let's go back to that. Yeah, just so you can get a good view of that thing. Yeah, so like I said, masked off that yellow piece, and like even if you see pretty close up the like silver or like gray plastic that they used, like the chip marks blends in really well with the chrome paint that I added. So like again, once you put a black wash over everything, it all blends together quite nicely. And then you can kind of see, yeah, the thrusters a little bit, how they're a little darker back here with like that black wash. I just put a couple more layers on there just to give it a little bit more of that burn look. I also gave these little backs of the engines like a little dot of black, just pure black, so it actually looks like an engine or whatever. And yeah, man, this thing turned out pretty cool in my opinion. Now, you don't even have to give this a wash, to be honest. Like when I put the like silver on it, it looked pretty cool. So you could have just taped it up silver and just leave it alone at that, and it still would be a pretty nice thing to add to your collection. But yeah, I didn't do anything with the interior. And actually, let's open that up real quick because you can kind of see the difference in the plastic. Like that is original plastic. I meant to paint it and just kind of forgot about it. And I was like, I'm not going back and doing that. But you could see the difference in that plastic versus like the chrome or whatever. So yeah, the interior, nothing really too special in there. And I don't think I'm going to do like interior shots with this thing. Maybe if they never get to giving us a proper TVC version of this like ship, I will like kind of trick it out or whatever. But for now, I mostly just wanted it to have as a background thing. Like I'm going to put it next to my crest, and yeah, it's going to be a fun thing to like take pictures of. So not too bad for like, you know, what was it? Like, I think 18 bucks, 20 bucks or something, which for like a kitty line thing that's not super detailed, I don't know. I made it better. I made it worth 20 bucks. Let's just say that. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole deal when it comes to that thing. What's up, Baymax? Even fellas? They could really fit the speeder, all 4 Enzellins, and Grogu in one regular bubble. Dude, that would be so cool. They really could, because that, yeah, the Enzellin speeder is tiny. I mean, let's put that back on the screen, man, because like, hold up. Where's that thing? Yeah. That Enzellin speeder is small, because like Grogu is tiny as heck. That thing is probably what? Like 5 Grogus, which we all know how small the Grogu figure is. So, dude, yeah, there's no reason they couldn't just toss that in with this ship, all the Enzellins, even Grogu with his rondelle and like satchel, and call it a day. That would be really cool. And maybe like Grogu, who's like kind of sculpted in a different pose or something like that. So he's like unique to the speeder or something. I think that would be pretty neat. But yeah, man, I'm totally here for that in Zelen ship. Totally here for that. I got that battle droid. What battle droid you get? The one that was just recently revealed that we're going to talk about today? Because that battle droid was pretty sick. Not to mention all the ones in the movie. Yeah, see, people want that in Zelen ship, and honestly, after the first time that I saw the movie, I literally came home and ordered that thing on Walmart just because I was like, that was so cool. it like, it was like everything that I love about like Star Wars and just like that weird little alien cute shit. It was just so cool. It was so amazing. Also, just the fact when like Din walks up to it and he's like, I can't fit in that, dude. uh, right then I was just like, I need that ship. I want to recreate that scene and just like that was just ridiculous. I loved it. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was like a pretty simple project. I was able to get it done in like just a night. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna put it in my TVC display. You can't really see it, but I have like a Billy book Billy bookshelf right here that's like out of frame that has all my Mando and Grogu stuff on it currently. I don't know if it's gonna stay there or go to this other side with all the main Mandalorian stuff. But yeah, I already had it up there displayed with like my Remnant troopers, my 3 ATRTs, snow troopers, the command AT-AT commander or like pilots or whatever. Those Disney droids that we got recently, like yeah, I got a whole Mando Grogu thing going, so it's definitely going to be displayed there until they get us like a proper one. And then even then, I'll probably just dump it in the spaceport or something like that. Morning, man, early for you, huh? Late for us, or most of us. I think they used the Jetsons pod car sound for that speeder. Oh man, that wouldn't surprise me, and that'd be pretty cool. That's awesome. I'm gonna go see it again. I've already seen it 3 times. I'm gonna go see it, I think, tomorrow. I actually wanted to go today because it's like half price theater tickets, but I was just way too busy with work and other stuff. Plus, I got to stream with y'all, so that's what I'm doing. Although maybe we should have just streamed and like watched the movie together. That one from that kid line, my bad at work. Oh, no problem, man, no problem. So you got the stap. I see what you're saying. Man, yeah, that stap, it doesn't look quite good enough for me to like make it in the collection. It's like way too bulky and kitty. I want them to do a proper one for TVC, especially now that we actually got one Merc droid coming. It would be cool to get that one. I went to Walmart to make sure I got it in case the kids clean them out. Nice. Was it cleaned out, man? I hope. I imagine you got one, but I think the hype for the Anzellan ship is probably going to be popular with the kids. Good evening. Good evening. Hey, folks. Wasn't taking any chances of them selling out. I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, I ordered mine online, and then they said it was delivered, but it wasn't here, and then showed up like 48 hours later or some nonsense. Hello, yeah. TBC in Zellens and Grogu in Mando armor. Yeah. Gotta get Grogu in that armor. I know we've had so many Grogu figures, or if you want to call it a figure accessory, but man, getting him in that like look is top priority for me. Kind of jealous that the Black Series is getting that with the like the walking stick and everything. Ugh, I really want that in TVC. I really do. It was awesome. Do you have a 3D printer? I do not. July through November. I really don't. And I meant to get one like last year, and it's something I wanted to dive into, but it's always been like I should not spend money on this right now. I need to move into this big collection room. I need to buy some extra shelves or lights, and then like time flies and then more things drop and I'm just like I can't prioritize that right now. I need to get more snow troopers and remnant troopers and just, all the things. So it's something that I want to get, and I've actually been thinking about it over the past like month or so just cuz I have been building things here and there as I start to spruce up this closer section of the collection room. And I think it would just be beneficial for me and like my workflow because as much as I love making things from scratch, it does sound nice to be able to like just leave something printing and come back to it and just paint it up real quick. So it's in the works. I do want a resin printer. Like I've always kind of wanted to like dive into that too and like maybe sculpting. Again, that's just like time management on my end. What kind of printer do you have? Do you have a filament printer? Do you have a resin printer? Do you have both? I'd be curious to know. I didn't know you printed. I'm getting the bloke sentry droid that with the soft goods cape, then sticking it on an episode 1 stab. Oh, interesting. Um, I'm not that familiar with the bloke stuff, so enlighten me. Is that stuff scale with 375? I thought it was like a 6-inch line as well. Or do they have both? I'm really confused because I saw someone comparing the bloke's Bo-Katan compared to like the Black Series one and just like the overall aesthetic. They like the blokes one more or blockies or whatever you want to call that thing, man. Yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah, you know how it be. It's collecting life, man. You make stuff and comment on stuff that makes me think you would appreciate it. Want to send you some stuff. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd appreciate it for sure. Reach out to me, man. Stephen Murphy, what's up, man? Good to see you here. Glad that Super Battle Droid can be removed from my March Madness list since he's pretty much on his way next for Battle Geonosis. Now fix the B1 and add a deluxe droideka. Yeah. A proper droideka would be cool. They're pretty close with those B1s. I hope they can just fix those arms and just let us finally army build that thing. The Super Battle Droid is really cool. Looks like we'll take a look in a moment, but it seems like they can't just straight use most of that for the Battle Geonosis just because it's got like those unique like kit bash parts to make it a mercenary. But if my memory serves correct, it looks like they can use the arms and definitely the rocker ankles, but I think a lot of it actually will have to be a slightly different sculpt. But it seems like they probably have done most of the digital work there, so it's just like casting it or something. Is 375? No way, man. Do they have both? I swear this person was comparing it to a Black Series one because it was not our Bo-Katan. Interesting. I have 2 resin and 1 FDM. Definitely makes the hobby more fun. Right on, man. I don't know if you're familiar with Peak Obi-Wan, but he's sent me some really cool stuff. I actually have 2 things of his right here that I've been meaning to paint up, and I put on the to-do list. But I had these awesome Loth cats that he sent me a while ago. I've been meaning to get to these, but yeah, he does some really great work too. So right on. Yeah, I think it makes the hobby fun, especially when you're able to kind of like create your own stuff too. They do have one that TBS is getting, the B1 style mercenary droid. Interesting. Interesting. Right on. So yeah, real quick, I guess I kind of wanted to share this since I was a little bit late on the stream, and this is the reason why. And it's a little bit relevant since we're kind of talking about dioramas and, you know, sprucing up your collection room or whatever. So let's share this real quick. Let's get Grogu out of here. Why did it not come up? Let's do it again. There we go. And let's make this full screen for you guys. So yeah, this is something I've actually been working on. This is just off to the side over here, and you can kind of see part of it, but I've always wanted like a proper nice display for my AT TE, and it's kind of like a wide vehicle, so it doesn't fit too well on many shelves. It's currently on top of like a half Billy bookcase, but because of that, I wanted to extend the like floor or whatever, and I just wanted to make a proper Teth display. Now, why Teth? Well, I was just really inspired as we were getting closer to this whole movie with the Rada thing. So I rewatched, you know, like the Clone Wars movie a couple times, and I love the Clone Wars. Period. I love Ahsoka. I love Anakin. I love everything about the clones. So this being like where it all kicked off and stuff, I wanted to kind of make this like a proper display in my collection room. So I thought this is a good place to like do it ATT. And I also had a bunch of these like 501st phase ones that I want to kind of like display proper. So yeah, essentially all that I did here is get some foam and like cover it in grout, but the grout was actually mixed with like a pink and maroon color. And like I did a video for all of this, and I edited most of it, so I will be sharing this on the channel sometime soon. So yeah, you just kind of cover it with that pink grout, and then I also pretty much carved up these rocks as well, just so like the floor is not just like completely flat and stuff like that. And then put some like fake foliage in there. Now, I was kind of like debating on how I wanted to do the foliage just because it's technically green, like I have it displayed, but because like the like lighting on Teth was so like magenta and stuff like that, and there were a couple plants that were actually like a pink color, I thought about just making everything pink, and I was like, this is gonna be way too much like pink going on. Let's add a little bit more color just to make it look somewhat like, I don't know, natural, if you will. So yeah, these are actually the tops of palm trees, plastic palm trees that I got off like Amazon a while ago. I think I spoke about these on like one of the last mall streams or whatever. Again, pretty simple. I literally just hit this with like a matte clear coat so it's not too shiny. And then this stuff is actually like a, you have to see it in the video, but it's like a sheet of like weird foliage that I got from IKEA. I have no clue what it's for, but I was walking through like the exit area to like pass all the plants or whatever. And I saw this thing. I was like, huh, that would be interesting, like tall grass or whatever. And I've had it around for a while and I just ripped a piece or two off of it and like attached it to this piece of foam that I carved to look like a rock and all that. So yeah, man. Really happy with this display. I was been trying to figure out like how I wanted to do it. And I think this has been a nice way of doing it. And as you can see, it just looks cool from like certain angles and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely happy about it. I considered making the whole background like a really big, like, I don't know what you want to call it, like a mountainside or whatever, but that's not really how it was until they got to the one cliff. So I just opted to like make the horizon a little interesting by making these like flat, smaller pieces of like rocks or whatever, just to break up a like plane so it's not so boring back here. And let me go back to that first photo. And you can't really see, but like there's a lot of space obviously above this thing. And what I'm thinking is one of my gunships, the HasLab gunships, will be displayed above this thing. I don't know if I'm going to hang it with like wires or whatever, or what my plan is, but I want one of those gunships to be flying over this because I think that would be super, super cool. And yeah, if I can find someone who like provides me like a Lucky Leku like decal for it, that would be even more appropriate for this Teth display, and I think it would be pretty awesome. And having more Phase One clones loaded up in that thing and whatever. So, yeah, this was something I wanted to share with you guys before I kind of got on with the rest of the stream. So, yeah, let me know how you think about it, man. But I'm happy to have a nice place for this ATTE. Let's see. Yeah, man, I'm really digging it. I'm really digging it. Oh, what's up, man? Blitz Transmissions in the house. Holy peak, breathtaking. Gonna have to catch the replay, but had to drop a like. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Amazing Dio. I knew you would appreciate that too, as someone who loves the Clone Wars and just all things clone. So yeah. Can't wait to get like a gunship above this thing and do a little bit more back here. I was even considering actually putting like a small like shelf or something floating here that would resemble the platform and like the cliffside that they would like scale up, and maybe having like Ventress and a couple of battle droids displayed on it. I don't know. But yeah, so far I'm really happy with what's going on here. Awesome. What's up, Cody? Great to see you, man. Love it. I figured you would. I think we were talking about this display a couple weeks back. It'd be really crazy if I could take one of these and have it scaling up the side of this bookshelf. I thought about that and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to try that with this vehicle. Maybe if I got another one that was like part beater or something like that. But yeah. Teth is a good one. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it, man. Heck yeah. Glad you guys are enjoying it. Hey, what's up, Justin? Good to see you, man. I agree. You know, it's definitely one of the best Clone Wars vehicles for sure. Yeah, I love this thing. I really want another one. They're, as you know, a little bit hard to track down for a decent price sometimes, or even just like complete. But yeah, it's even got electronics and all that stuff. And I don't know. I don't think I need one to be much larger. I think it's manageable in the size that it is. But yeah, it's a really, really great one. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Do you use anything on the feet to keep the figures from falling over? Funny enough, all I use is the Force. Those are all just displayed like just, I don't know, properly and like balanced well. I've had no problems. They're all just still over there right now, not falling down. So yeah. I did have problem with like, I think this guy back here, his like swivel thigh was kind of loose when I opened him up. So it was having like trouble. I don't know. It was just like giving out on him or whatever, but I just like messed around with him and now he's like in a perfect fixed position. But yeah, everyone here is standing proper. I think the biggest issue is Ahsoka back here, just because it's that younger Padawan Ahsoka from the Clone Wars like animated line, and she only has swivel hips. So to get her in that running position was a little tricky, and I don't know how, but somehow she's still standing. So I'm not going to question the Force. It works in mysterious ways. Would you ever weather up your old Clone Wars vehicles to better fit with TVC? I'm conflicted. Too scared to mess them up. I've definitely thought about that, especially for the ATTE, just because I feel like a little bit of grime would look cool on it. And it's kind of weird, because it's like I know some people don't want to touch their like TVC figures at all. They like them straight out the package, no modifications or whatever. And it's like, what's a little bit more valuable, like the old Clone Wars and Legacy vehicles, or like a vintage collection item? I don't know. Like, this is the heyday of some incredible 375 world building and just like some of the best shit we ever saw, like peak stuff. So that part of me is like, do I weather this thing or not? I don't know. I do have like a Clone Wars Y-wing back there that I love. Like, it's the yellow marking one, but I've always wanted to just make it a 501st one. And every once in a while I'll go on eBay and see if I can find one for a cheap price. But yeah, I think that's one of the only Clone Wars vehicles that I'm leaning towards like repainting, like a Y-wing to be a 501st, just because who knows if Hasbro has the mold for that thing anymore. It's a perfect Clone Wars Y-wing, to be honest. It's bigger than the other Y-wing we like have, like the original trilogy versions. But yeah, I really want a 501st version. Yep, definitely agree, man. Clone Wars Ahsoka needs some drastic help. We need that like younger, like Padawan version, and then we need when she's slightly older, like the last Black Series Clone Wars figure that they got, because ours sucks. I mean, both of them suck. They have swivel hips. The likeness isn't great, but yeah, man, I definitely agree with those Ahsoka 2 flashbacks. But she's been on my March Madness list, and like I'm still gonna put her on there because I think that would be a good figure. Very interesting when we talk about some of the reveals, because yeah, they were talking about Devin and how she's like a smaller figure, so that's why they couldn't like do hinged wrist or whatever. So I think that would be an interesting thing going forward with a younger Ahsoka. Yep, we really do, man. Yeah, that figure's just, it's not great. It's not great. But yeah, so yeah, glad you guys really enjoyed the display, because I'm digging it, man. I'm really happy to have that. But since we're talking about some figures, let's take a quick look at some of these reveals that we got, because man, I don't know about y'all, but I actually walked away pretty content, which was nice. It was really nice. So yeah, again, really cool that we actually got some Mandalorian Grogu stuff. Wasn't expecting that much that quick, so pleasant surprise. And Embo, really cool. I thought this would be one that like we would see maybe in Black Series or something like that, and then have to be like, hello, we want this in TVC too. So I'm glad they're doing a little bit of like a nice balance there. Like Sixers got it, we got it. That's cool. I appreciate that. Looking at the figure, man, oof, he is so cool. I don't know why it's doing this thing. I hate when it does this. 1 second, guys. Single page, please. Thank you. Yeah. So he looks rad. I'm really happy with what they're doing here. I think the sculpt looks phenomenal. I'm glad that ours got soft goods on the lower part. I think that's nice. Didn't like the Black Series got that like soft plastic nonsense. Didn't think that looked good. He does have that plastic piece here, just because I guess they didn't want to do, 2 different sets of soft goods. But to be honest, the Clone Wars one is like that as well. And I'm going to bring that in a second because I have a custom of that. But yeah, I also love how many accessories come here. You got extra hands, you got the bow rifle, you got his hat, soft goods, and then the 2 pieces that come off the front of the bow rifle, so he can like go that hand-to-hand combat scene with Din. I think that's awesome. Everything here is just perfect. This is what I want to see in TVC, especially moving forward. All the premium articulation, all new from the ground up. Lots of accessories. This right here is absolutely worth $20 in my opinion. When we are like, moving towards, higher prices or whatever, this is the kind of stuff I want to see. I am going to buy multiples of these just because I think it looks great. Like I'm going to have one displayed on my Mando shelf, probably put one in the like spaceport, and then I'm just going to have a loose one just for being able to take photos, because more and more I have some of this stuff. I just love taking photos of it, and I don't want to keep taking it down off my shelf. It becomes kind of annoying and like a unfortunate domino effect sometimes. But what do you guys think of Embo? He was freaking amazing in the movie too. The vibes were just perfect. Perfect. Love it. Yeah, let's see what you guys are saying about some of this. Mhm. Maybe a 3-pack now that she's been in live action. Oh yeah, back to Ahsoka for sure. I think a Journey of Ahsoka Tano would be actually a cool 3-pack, to be honest. They could just repack in the Mandalore one again to like offset the cost and then give me 2 more versions of Padawan. That would be cool. Now, a perfect world, I'd get the very young Clone Wars movie version or like the flashback scene. Then we get her more standard Clone Wars look when she's a bit older. And then we get her civilian look because I think that would be sick. Her like Tales of the Jedi and like some of the end of like season 7 like look. I think that would be really cool. Because I want to recreate that scene with the crow. That would be rad. Embo was enough for me to be thrilled. Yeah, dude. Again, didn't think we were gonna get Embo. Can't agree more, sci-fi dude. I was really happy, really happy. TVC Embo. Also, it just like feels good to be like, yeah, TVC Embo, man. So sick. And like, since we're talking about Embo, I did want to show off this like custom of mine from a little while back. So there we go. So this is the Clone Wars version, except I modified him to have non-swivel hips. So I essentially just popped out his old crap hips and put in the upper part is actually Dooku's legs and his like torso peg, and then the lower part of the legs are actually what is that? Luke from like training, the not the Dagobah training, the like Grogu training Luke. And then I just painted the like knee area to be brown to match the Dooku pants, and then gave him like a different color on these wrappings or whatever. And I always thought about like putting the silver toe cap that Embo has, but I just decided not to do that. But I only wanted to bring this figure in just because of like what they did before. So soft goods as well, and then this soft plastic piece here for the other part of his like soft goods look, which I will say this is always kind of like limited a little bit of that articulation. So I hope the one they use has a bit more flex to it. If not, maybe I'll slice it off and like kind of customize it to have a soft goods or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't mind them doing a Clone Wars version if they could like leverage some of the tooling out of this Embo as well. So I think that'd be neat. But yeah, man, Embo, happy about that. You could totally see them repack Embo with Anuba and another Din with the swords in a PulseCon exclusive set. Yep, that would be cool. That would be cool, man. Embo was great in the movie. Want to see more of him in movies and TV shows. Yeah, I was happy he didn't get killed off or something like that. Very classic Embo. Always like gets into the situation. It's a little too dangerous, and he's like, "All right, peace. I'm out, y'all." That was so classic Embo. Oh, Embo. Always first man out when it's time to go. So I appreciate that too. But yeah, it means we'll probably see him somewhere down the line. So I'm happy with that. There was a pretty even balance. Most of the figures revealed were either already released or revealed here. Only difference was the droids revealed. Yeah, I agree. Again, yeah, we got Devin, but they had TBS got Devin like a little while back. We got a droid, they got a droid. So yeah, it was kind of a nice balance for once. Yeah, I did not walk away like sad or just like missing out or anything like that. So that was cool. Very, very cool. Love Embo. He was number 2 on my March Madness wish list this year. Right on, man. You can check that number 2 off. That's awesome. That's really cool. Padawan the Clone Wars, Fulcrum Ahsoka Rebels. Oh yeah, I forgot about Fulcrum Ahsoka. Dang. There's a lot of Ahsokas we need. Mando and Grogu was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Awesome, man. Awesome. Ahsoka the White with her cloak. Yeah, we do still need that cloak too, don't we? Man, Hasbro, you got some work to do when it comes to Ahsoka. As someone who had the Clone Wars Embo and his hat that fell off all the time, it's good they found a way for it to stay on his head this time. Did yours fall off a lot? Mine seems to be like pretty snug on there. It's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, I guess it does fall off like for the most part, but yeah, it seems like they did do some nice engineering there to make sure it like kind of like actually stays on. Because before it was just like that peg, which was I guess it was okay, but yeah, it could be better. Love the reveals. Not as fussed about the Merc droid, but that's the only because my collecting priorities. Right on, right on. I hear you. And again, like we got a Merc droid, they got a Merc droid, so like I'm content. I'm content. Shame Embo didn't come with his Kaibu or Devon with a swappable normal hand. Yeah, for sure. I agree with like the swappable hand for sure. Just because that's like such small, low hanging fruit that they could easily just toss in there and make Devon like an even more substantial figure, kind of like this Embo. Like this is the level of stuff that I want to see them bringing. Um, as far as his companion would be cool. But I see the decision there. Like they could not fit that into a bubble, probably. Could that be like a deluxe box of a different Embo down the road? Maybe a Clone Wars version? That could be cool. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting that world building piece and just having more stuff for Embo. Embo's such a great looking figure. Now we need his pup. Yeah, man. Need that pupper. Also, like, who's gonna scare my Anzelans? That part was amazing. Something about it was just like that poor Anzelan. He was not feeling that pupper. Amazing wave. We'll skip only Hera since I already have two versions of her. And finally, Sand Troopers. I will get me five. Right on, right on. I still think that Hera's a pretty good one to pick up just because she goes with some of the other season one stuff. And I'm a big Rebels fan, so I'm definitely picking her up for sure. If they put out Clone Wars Embo down the road and then put up Sarepas, we would have mainly Sugi and Rummy, who were never released in the animated line. Finish that crew, then maybe Clone Wars Hondo. Cool. I think Clone Wars Hondo would be neat. Yeah, I'm down for all of that, to be honest. Like the more Clone Wars stuff, the better. I'm always here for more Clone Wars stuff. And they've kind of like slowed down a little bit on the Clone Wars. I feel like we were getting quite a bit back when we got the Mandalore stuff and like a little bit prior to that. So again, I wouldn't mind them going back to Clone Wars. And maybe, we'll see a little bit of that since we're in like the Battle of Geonosis. Maybe TVC eventually does Clone Wars versions of Embo and Nuba. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Just ordered a replacement hat for my older Clone Wars Embo. Dang, people losing that hat. That sucks, man. That sucks. But let's get back to some of these reveals. So Embo seems like crowd favorite. I'm just gonna say it. Will he be the best one of the bunch? I don't know. So Hera, really enjoyed seeing this figure. I'm glad they're going back to support the ghost because sometimes it feels like they leave things kind of in the dust, if you will. And there's been like a ton of focus on the cantina, which as much as I love the cantina, I don't want to forget about the ghost. Heck, we still got the Razor Crest back there, which still needs things for it. We need Grief Karga season 1. Wouldn't mind Migs Mayfeld and the gang 0. Like, come on, Hasbro. That's so long ago now, which is just kind of sad when we think about it. But this one, at least because we have some season 1 characters already. We have Zeb, we have Kanan, so get me that Hera. Also, love this card back. This is banging. Such a good card back. This might be one of my favorite card backs once we get it. Just the ghost in the background, just because it's got that ball turret. It is such a flying fortress, like World War II type of like vehicle, and she's just there with that like brilliant salute. She looks gorgeous, man. Can't say enough good things about that card back. And then the figure itself, amazing, because like the lower legs on this one were really good. Most of the stuff that's changing here is just the upper body, because like this whole torso is new because this upper part is different. Her arms are also different. She's got gloves that are kind of like longer, if you will. So like that piece is new. And then, yeah, all new arms. So honestly, not a bad repack or like partial tool, if you will. And like I said, she's going to be great. Hopefully this will lead the way for a season 1 Ezra, because that's been one on my March Madness list. I think we need that figure quite a bit. And then hopefully they can do Sabine and maybe even Chopper with like his rocket strut or something like that. Because yeah, we could use that accessory. They never included it with any of the choppers thus far. So I think that would be pretty neat. But yeah, what do you guys think of Hera? I think she looks good. And then moving on, we have also from the Mandalorian and Grogu, Zeb in the flight suit. So cool. Really was wanting this one ever since we saw Zeb in live action. Not only, of course, do I love Rebels, but seeing him in live action, so cool. And also the Steve Bloom is like the voice still just like captures everything I love about Zeb. Ugh, yeah, and Steve Bloom even did, like, the facial, like, performance for this, so, yeah, man, really happy that they were able to check this one off the list pretty quick. Love seeing him in the movie, and again, really cool looking card back, and again, this figure is actually a lot of newness on it, so that is pretty cool. Like, I think the only thing they really reused here were the feet, because his Rebels looks have gauntlets on the arms, and even his hands have, like, those, like, knuckle things, and then, obviously, the whole flight suit part is new. I don't think the head is the same, because the expression looks quite different. So there's a lot of newness in here, and obviously, his bowcaster rifle is different in live action than it is the Rebels version, so pretty cool. So this is, like, worthy of deluxe because there's a lot of tooling in it, and he's a hefty boy. So, yeah, I'm not mad at it. The only thing I think, like, for deluxe, I would have liked a little bit of, like, I don't know, a more realistic look to this blaster rifle. Let's go back to the card back. I don't think it's in there. No. And yeah, I don't think I have a picture on this presentation right here, but yeah, it just looks like very silvery plastic. So maybe I'll weather that one up or something like that. But yeah, that's my only gripe with this. I feel like it could have used a little weathering or something different for that rifle. But again, this Zeb is he's looking awesome. If he's anything like the other ones, the articulation is going to be banging. I love posing these two figures when I got them. Both of them are just exceptional tooling. Like the hinges on his like ankles and his just like weird anatomy. Like they did such a good job with this figure. So really looking forward to this one. And it's gonna be cool to put him in a crest and like take a picture of him. So yeah, man. Very happy to see Zeb in this look. Whoever did that pose right there. Good job. I like that one. It's very victorious Lasat right there. Loving it. Loving it. I will say the only thing also that's a little weird is his toes are quite pink. And I don't recall them being that pink in the movie. And his Rebels version is definitely not like that. But yeah, they're quite bright, if you will. I will also say one last thing before we move on from Zeb is that the Black Series version, because they got one for one basically, theirs didn't look as good. Like the face on it for something about it looked off to me. I think ours looks a lot better, especially in these promo images. But yeah, theirs just looked like I don't know. He kind of looked like he was a little like he ate some bad like Melu runs or something and needed a gas X. Something about his expression just didn't look right to me. Um, and ours again takes the day. And I feel like I don't know. That's just something I notice a bit. It's like I walk away sometimes from my TVC collection appreciating the portraits that we've been getting more recently. Um, there's just other figures that just like I don't know, just look better in TVC than the like Black Series versions that either come out now or like have come out in the past. So like Maul, like I really like our Maul portrait a lot more. But yeah. And then yes, keeping that vibe going from the Maul Shadow Lord streams, Devon. Very happy to see this one again. We've already seen it because it was like kind of revealed already, but to see the card back, that is nice. I think that looks really awesome. Great pose there with the saber, and then just seeing Janix in the background. Wonderful stuff. We won't talk too much about this because we've already kind of like looked at this figure, but yeah, she's great. I will agree with what Nicholas said. It would have been nice to get another hand in there. And I guess they can't change that now, but like maybe the next release when like if hopefully I'm hoping she doesn't change her outfit, but most likely she's going to change her outfit for season 2. Let's just be real because she's leaving her past self behind and she's definitely going to probably be wearing something slightly different. So for that release, I would hope they get us, some different hands maybe. I think that would be cool. But yeah, overall, I think she looks really awesome. Really looking forward to getting this one and taking some more Maul Shadow Lord shots, man. I just had such a good time with that show and just having figures in hand. If we would have had this in hand as well, I would have been over the moon in terms of like being excited and just content. Now, I will say, with her coming, I hope Doki's coming as well. I hope they, for some reason, don't think that we want Doki. Like, if you have the Padawan, you're going to need the Master. So where is Doki? And I don't want to wait like 3 years to get Doki because that would be ridiculous. Hasbro, if you're listening, we want Doki. Get us Doki. Definitely going to need that one for recreating scenes. And we already went over this in most of the live streams, but there's a number of different figures from this show that we all kind of want to see. This is a really good pose here too. I kind of want to make that one full screen actually, just because whoever struck that pose, yeah, you guys did a good job. Let's just zoom in on this real quick. Ah, like yeah, that looks fantastic. Like just take a look at that. Like what a good looking figure. And again, they were talking about how like there's some limitations here when it comes to like um where they had to put the swivel just because she is pretty tiny compared to other figures. I don't think I have a reference here, but like they put her next to Mando and she's like considerably shorter than Mando. So this is going to be a tiny figure. So the fact they were able to like achieve this is nice, but it does make me worried about some things that like, you know, I've wanted to see or I know other people in the community have wanted to see. Like so for example, like I know it's been ages since we talked about Kenobi, but little Leia from that show was pretty essential for any world building when it comes to the show. She was in nearly almost every scene. But could they achieve a little Princess Leia Organa? I don't know. And then that makes me worried for something like Omega, who's also probably a little bit smaller than Devin. Probably like what, like another foot, maybe two. So like that's a really tiny figure. Yeah, I don't know. And she doesn't. I don't know. I just don't know where they would put the swivel for the wrist. So it's something to think about. But I will not stop asking for Omega because we need her. We need the rest of the Bad Batch. What am I going to do with Hunter and Crosshair over there? They need someone else to talk to. So yeah, Hasbro, get on it. Get on it. Let's see what some of you guys are saying in the chat though, real quick. Yeah, we just looked at that. Custom civilian clothes, Ahsoka. Yeah, I've seen people do that for like a custom Ahsoka with like the OSHA body. I think that's a decent stand-in for sure. We need other merc droids though, not just one. Totally agree, man. Totally agree. I will not stop asking for those merc droids. And I have a feeling they're gonna do us right. Steve gave us a good hint that as he could have wait, as he could have that season 1 Ezra and Sabine are coming. Okay, right on. I didn't see that hint, but I appreciate it. And that's good. That's good. I feel like they're doing a better job in terms of knocking out crews. Like it's already impressive that we have finally completed the Rogue One crew. We are getting more Rebels season 1 characters and if, you know, the hint is coming that season 1 Ezra and Sabine are coming, that's great. Like we're knocking off stuff. Can't be mad about that. Season 1 Sabine is almost guaranteed now. Easy repaint. Yep. I think there's a bit of tooling stuff that would need to be adjusted in terms of her costume, but like there's a lot there I think they could leverage as well. And you know they're gonna make her deluxe with all those paint apps. Ezra, please. Yes. Yes. I really want that season 1 Ezra. Also because like that is one of my favorite lightsabers as well. His blaster like lightsaber thing. Oh, such a cool design. So sad when it gets broken. Really happy to see Hera and that they mentioned the other season 1 characters. Yeah, they know. They know. Which also, this is something I wanted to talk about, and I still need to make a video about it. But, you know, Hasbro is doing a decent job in terms of listening. So, like, every time any one of you guys share your top 25 list or participate in March Madness or Last Figure Standing or any of the fan polling, you guys are definitely helping influence by making a lot of noise for specific characters. You know, people share their wish list. They make like action figure photography posts and talk about stuff. Like we're all being heard. So that is wonderful stuff. I'm glad they're taking note. I really am. Because in the end of the day, like we're happy, they're happy, everyone's happy. Got to cut out. I'll check the replay. All right, man. All good. Appreciate you being here for a little bit. Let's go. Season 1, Rebels crew. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Love the new head sculpt on Zeb. Much better than the Gormless previous mainline one. Yeah, that one wasn't my favorite either. I like the HasLab version better. And I do think this head sculpt on Zeb was pretty nice as well. I know they're not like the exact same color, but I feel like you could probably get away putting this new Mando and Grogu Zeb on one of those figures as well. Embo and Blue Zeb were top of my wish list. So happy to get them both crossed off. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that version of Zeb wasn't on my list, but I'm glad I don't have to put him on there now. It's rare that a Black Series figure looks better. Yeah, I mean, it's the wrong scale for me for sure. That's a start. But yeah, there's certain figures of theirs that just don't look right to me either. And like they were having that problem for a while too, where everything was like too glossy, even or like the covered in olive oil look. Glad we don't have that problem. Only thing we had to dodge was carbonized. Do you think we'll get the new Mando and Grogu Razor Crest TVC? It's a good question, as they would say, for another time. We're going to talk about that for sure when we talk about the Mando and Grogu stuff coming up. We're going to talk about that. Devin. All right. Let's keep going on through these reveals since we're almost done with them. And we keep talking about this one. The mercenary droid, the Super B2 battle droid, mercenary version from the droid Gotcha. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Like watching the movie, of course, I was like, oof, I'm gonna need some of these droids. Did I think we'd be getting them soon? Heck no. Am I happy about it? Heck yes. Damn, they did a cool job on this droid too. It's like all these kit bash parts, which I'm happy to see. Like I was talking about, like I don't think this can be a straight repack for like a Battle Geonosis one, just because like a lot of this stuff is unique to this like droid gotcha version. But I do think like the arms could probably be used. Probably, excuse me, probably that head, definitely the rocker ankles. So like that's a little bit of the tooling cost. So it's like almost like a 2 for 1 here. And I'm sure they can probably use this accessory as well. So yeah, I just love the look of this thing. Any kind of droid with bandoliers and stuff like that always looks cool to me. It's something I really liked about Zero from like the first episode of like or the first season of The Mandalorian, and like even like IG, he had like a bandolier and stuff like that. Something about droids with like equipment just looks cool. And this guy, the other thing I'm really happy about is like the articulation here. So like the B1 or the B2 battle droids that we had from the past, like Legacy Collection and stuff, weren't terrible, but like, man, this guy looks so good. Like he's gonna be able to pose well. They beefed him up a little bit on the upper body, so he looks like a little bit more, tough and menacing. The hands look like they can actually grip stuff. They're able to like, rotate. All of this is working for me quite a bit. Also, do appreciate that they actually use some weathering on this thing. Doesn't look like 100% perfect, but I'd prefer weathering versus this just being all plastic like this Katie line stuff. So, yeah, man, I think it looks pretty good. I'll probably weather one up a little bit more myself just to see how it looks, but yeah, I'm happy with it. Going back to the cape real quick, I'm not a huge fan of, plastic capes and whatever, but this one looks pretty good. And maybe I will customize one to be like soft goods because it looks like you could easily like take this off or something like that. Or even if it attaches the bandolier, I can always like cut this specifically and then just it's literally a flat rectangle of like fabric that you can then cut yourself, add some holes. So that's an easy one to customize in terms of like if you want to give this thing soft goods. Something I'm thinking about already. But yeah, again, pretty happy with this. Wasn't expecting one of them. So this caught me off left guard. He comes with that accessory, like the sword that he uses, and dude, really hyped on him. Really, really hyped. And then the Sand Trooper. Now I'm a little conflicted when it comes to this one, just because I do really like Sand Troopers quite a bit. And one of the streams that I did right before or like during Maul Shadow Lord, I can't even remember at this point. I shared some of my custom Sand Troopers and that dewback that I was working on. And like I weathered mine up to be a little bit better than what, came in that Empire Stormtroopers of the Empire 3-pack, which is pretty much this figure being repacked. But the only thing I just really am kind of bummed about is the belt. So going back to the card back image real quick, you can see down here, first of all, that let's look at the figure. This little piece right here that hangs off the belt does not actually exist on Sand Troopers. They don't have that piece. Additionally, they are supposed to have some of these MP44 World War II like ammo pouches on their sides. And it's like all sorts of different like World War II little pouches and stuff like that. And they have not done that in a while. I think the only figure that ever really got it was the Power of the Jedi line or whatever, because I actually cut those off of those figures for my customs that I did and then kind of like glued them on. So I really, really kind of wish they would revisit the Sand Trooper, maybe for like the white and black pauldron versions, and just redo that belt piece at a minimum. Cause this is just one soft plastic piece. Like that shouldn't be that hard to do. I would really appreciate that quite a bit. Now, moving on to the rest of the figure and stuff that's quote unquote wrong with it, that would be great. New belt piece. I know a lot of people are kind of getting tired of these old style hips, and I have to agree with you. That would be a bit of tooling investment, but we talked about that on the Mall Shadow Lord streams. Would be cool if they could somehow figure out how to do TK troopers and use the same like barbell hip system and just like update all two troopers at one time. I think that would be great. The diamond on the knee is supposed to be a separate piece. I won't die on a hill for that. I think it should be done, but that's another piece of tooling here. And if I don't want to be, I guess, super greedy, so I'd be happy with like proper ammo pouches and like proper hips. Now, I know the backpack also seemed like an issue for some people, that it was like too big. It's actually perfectly sized. And I checked so many reference photos and was just like figuring stuff out for my own like photo shoots and whatever. And it's not that the backpack size is too big, it's that it sits too high on his back. And it's because of the way they design the straps that go over his arms or whatever, and then that little notch in the back that like, I don't know, is in the backpack so like attaches to like his back or stays in place or whatever. Ugh, it drives me crazy because I just wish they could like fix it and redesign it so it sits lower on his back. Like, sure, I could probably slice those up and put my own straps on there, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So what I'm proposing is that Hasbro goes back to the drawing board one day, gets us a white pauldron version, kind of like how there was two releases in TVC 1.0. They hopefully maybe just do another backpack because there's multiple backpack designs when it comes to the stormtrooper or the sand troopers. If you take a look at reference, there's like I want to say like 12 pack variations or whatever. So that'd be cool to get one of those and maybe make it proper so it sits lower on his back and then just redo the belt pieces. I would be pretty happy with that. I also want to see the rifle that comes with them in that like white pauldron version. It's like the much more MG42 looking rifle with the scope. It's always been my favorite like Star Wars weapon. Something about it like stuck out as a kid. I really liked it quite a bit. But yeah, sand troopers. I love them. They're cool. I will pick up a couple of these for sure, but I still just think it needs a little bit of work. Also, the pouch or the ammo pouches that attach to the pauldron, it's not technically supposed to attach to the pauldron. And now that we had it like slightly different on the Mando and Grogu Remnant troopers, I would love to see this as a separate piece that could just be on his like arm or something like that. I don't know. Little nitpicks here and there, but yeah, still nice to get this one out there for people who need a couple more sand troopers and stuff like that. And overall, the weathering is better than any sand troopers we've seen in the past. So there are great things about this set. I will definitely probably weather them myself because I'm now just like too accustomed to seeing the ones I've done and they look much better. But yeah, I don't know. How many of these are you guys planning to pick up? And I think, yeah, that's the last reveal. Yeah, that pack is actually not bad, man. It's just like it's supposed to technically sit like this bottom of this white piece should be around here, just around there. So it's like definitely a little too high on his back. But yeah, I guess it could be far worse. I guess we could not have a sand trooper at all. And I do think the pack actually looks really cool. Like they did pretty good job there. And it's one of the more popular versions that they used on set. But yeah, there's a lot of minor differences when I was taking a look at all this like background stuff when I was doing my customs and weathering them up or whatever. Let's see what you guys are thinking. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that for sure. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. TVC Docky. Heck yeah, we definitely need that. Wish we got a Master Docky instead of Sand Trooper. After my rant about the Sand Trooper, I couldn't agree more. I want that Docky so bad, man. Enough said, right? Enough said. Bro, Nightfall Custom here. Oh, what's up, man? Good to see you in the stream. Awesome. Just want to say thank you for the genuine positivity on this film. There's a lot of negativity around the movie, and I freaking loved it. Glad you enjoyed it too. Heck yeah, man. Dude. All right, on a story here. I was so bummed out on that negativity too. It was actually like kind of pissing me off because it's just like most of the people who are being negative too are just like film critics or whatever who just like I don't think they breathe Star Wars the same way some of us do. So I went and saw that movie, not thinking I would ever hate it, right? Went in, loved it, was left so happy, bought this little Anzellan ship, and was just like kind of reading the reviews because I was like seeing the stuff online. I was just like, this is such nonsense, man. Was such nonsense. And I literally made a Rotten Tomatoes profile that night and left a freaking review because I was like, nah, I, even if it's a chalk mark in a rainstorm, I'm gonna leave this. And it was something along the lines of like, like I've been a Star Wars fan my whole life. Like I'm an avid collector. Everything about this movie spoke to me and like things that make me so happy when it comes to Star Wars and creativity, like creatures, adventures, troopers, just like something along those lines. And just like I really enjoyed this movie. Um, was it like a I don't know, Avengers moment where there was like this big reveal or something like that? Not really, but it set up some good stuff for like the upcoming adventures that we're going to see in the galaxy. Like there's clearly stuff happening with the remnant. Adelphi base is clearly going to be substantial in upcoming stories. Clearly Mando is going to be kicking some ass in the Razor Crest in future things. So like there are little bits and pieces here. And it also I kind of think it like took a little bit of the training wheels off my man Grogu too, because he had quite a lot of scenes and he was like so much more capable than like for example, he was capable in season 3, but he's like jumping around, running from those Praetorian guards and kind of just like doing his thing. Whereas like in the movie, he was I don't know, just like a bit more matured and like I think it was a good way of like breaking the baby Yoda like stereotype of like he's just like this cute little thing, which he is, but he's also a capable warrior and he is learning as the apprentice. So yeah, man, I'm glad you loved it too. I think most of us did. I will say I liked it even more the second time. I went back like I think 2 days later and like gotten home from work and I really kind of wanted to go see it. And I was like, screw it, let me see what times they got. And I went to a 10:30 showing, which I was like, damn, this is gonna be late getting out of there. And I got out at like 1-ish, 1:30 or some nonsense like that. But I loved it even more the second time. Because I like knew what was gonna happen and you could just like sit back and just like really enjoy it. And yeah, I saw it in the IMAX 3D the second time, which was pretty trippy and cool. A multi-pack of the B1, B2, and K2 head mercenary droids would be awesome. Cannot agree more. Cannot agree more. And I think there's a lot of potential there. So I'm hoping they do some more of those mercenary droids. It's an army builder. I'm going to buy multiples of them, so it's a good investment regardless. I can't agree. I could not agree more, man. Could not agree. This is the way. I really appreciate all of you guys. This is the way. Sandtrooper was one of my favorite Star Wars figures. They are cutting corners with this figure, unfortunately. Same here. That Power of the Force dewback with Sandtrooper was one of my favorite things when I got as a kid. I just always loved the Sandtroopers too. Something about them. Like it's the first trooper that was just kind of like dirty and like grimy, and you're like, whoa, what are these dudes about? Yeah, and they were riding like a beast and stuff. Like, I don't know, I just really liked them too as a kid quite a bit. I do think they're not given 100% here. Like, I don't think they're necessarily cutting corners, but I think there's just some things they're overlooking on the Sandtrooper. And I will say overlooking and maybe cutting corners because the Black Series version that also came out around this time has the frickin' pouches on the belt. Dude, why did they get the pouches and we didn't get the pouches? It's like the easiest part to like tool there. Like I said, it's just like this soft plastic piece. Like it's easy. This is not a big tooling investment, I don't think. So I would like to get the pouches too. But yeah, I feel you, man. I don't think it's too big. I think it's honestly the right size. Take the figure, if you have it, take the straps off, take the backpack, and just like place it on there and just like set it a little lower on his back and just like take a look at it. I'm telling you, it looks better. It's just something about it being so high on his back is just not right. The TVC backpack looks better. I've seen some people use that version in like the legacy ones you can kind of clip on there. I mean, if that works for you, that works for you for sure. I don't know, I like the backpack actually. I think the sculpting on it's pretty nice. Once I weathered mine with a little bit more like sand and dust, it looks pretty cool too. Yeah, it just sits too dang high. Maybe I should customize one of them. I have like what, 6 of those guys already from the like 3 packs. Ah, you know what? Screw it. Maybe I'll sacrifice one of them. Cut up that strap and see if I can get that thing to sit lower on its back. That tube is not to scale. Check again. I don't know, man. I've looked at a lot of reference photos because I was trying to like think of like scenes that I want to recreate with like sand troopers and stuff. And again, I was tripping up on it too because I was like, this pack looks a little bit off. I 3D modeled a tab that fits over the 1.0 backpack so that it fits snugly on the new Sand Troopers pack. Whoa, that's pretty cool, man. Dang, nice. I like that. There's definitely way too much negativity around the movie, but I have to say I was disappointed with it, but felt I couldn't air my opinion because I didn't want to be lumped into with toxic fans. Dude, totally fine. I mean, again, I'm always here for everyone's opinion. Like if it didn't like wow you or was just kind of like mid for you, I get it. I get it. I think for me, it was just nice to actually walk into a Star Wars movie that I didn't absolutely walk away feeling more confused about. Like I knew what was going on. It's Grogu, it's Din. We know their stories. I know their characters. I saw some good action and an overall like decent story. Something that was interesting that I was thinking about actually, because I feel like this topic of conversation was floating around on some YouTube videos and whatever. Um, but I think of this movie, ironically, similar to Aliens, like the second movie. And not just because Sigourney Weaver's in it. But I bring this up because like the first Aliens movie was obviously kind of a cult classic. It was like weird, had some lore in there that made your imagination go places, similar to the first Star Wars. And it was kind of a roller coaster where you basically this adventure where something starts, it goes chaotic, and it gets to an end where Ripley and Jonesy basically escape and like go happily af like not happily off ever after or whatever, but they get away. And you're like, okay, the heroes made it. Similar, like Death Star blows up, cool ceremony, awesome. And you never knew if you were gonna get a second movie. And then we get the James Cameron one, which when you think about the James Cameron one in terms of like the story or whatever, it was literally just an action shoot 'em up from point A to Z. And like the only thing that pushes the lore a little bit more was they introduced a queen. But literally it's just like an action movie. Okay, something's wrong. Let's go there. Dang, everyone's dead. Crap, we're trapped. We got to get out. They get out. They kill the thing. It was similar, you know? And Aliens is like one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think it's obviously a well-renowned movie. But I don't know, something about that just like was similar. Cause like I guess I saw people saying like Mando and Grogu is just like this action movie with like not much thought in it or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. Similar. Like Aliens was a shoot 'em up, and it's probably most people's favorite one. But yeah, man, don't be like upset if like you didn't like the movie or like you're definitely not toxic at all. It's not like you were ragging on people's opinions. Like I see your post, you know, you're not a negative or toxic person at all. And if the movie's like, you know, not doing it for you, I get that. Like, would I have preferred to see like a Thrawn appearance and maybe a little bit more of a larger galactic like thriller battle or like setting that up? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, at the same time, I was happy with kind of what I got too. Like it was an adventure. That was cool. I saw you said that too, that you enjoyed it more on your second viewing. And I will say, like, I liked it a lot the first time, but something about the second viewing was really, really enjoyable for me. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna honestly go see it again tomorrow. Um, I got nothing planned tomorrow, so I kind of want to go see it again. Taking my kids to see the movie this weekend, people get let down by their own expectations more than anything, I think. Yeah, that's also too. Yeah, like you kind of got to go in with like I don't know, just like a as Yoda would say, clear your mind of everything. It's kind of like the cave of evil too. Only with only in there what you take with you. Similar to the movie theater. Just go in with like no expectations, at peace, calm. You'll see what happens. Think of doing a custom Captain Rex Onderon armor. Ooh, that's cool, man. I like that. Speaking of Rex and speaking of my Teth display, I definitely need a Phase 1 Rex. I don't know why Hasbro's waiting on that one, but I need some more Phase 1 troopers. What did you enjoy more, Solo or Mandalorian and Grogu? I really like Solo more and more as I watch it like out of the theaters and at home. I really appreciated it more. I think Mando and Grogu for sure. I mean, just like in terms of like the first viewing, it was hard for me to like look past the actor because it was like not Harrison Ford. It didn't make me like hate the movie, but it was just like odd because I was like, we keep calling this guy Han, but it doesn't look like Han to me, you know? I think that was hard for me to get past when it comes to Solo, just because like at that point, Harrison Ford is what we knew as like Han Solo. So that was a little bit difficult. But I love the story. It was great. But yeah, I think Mando and Grogu just like hit a lot more adventure stuff for me. They hit like beasts. Like I love that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings type of giant creatures and just like that threat with like the dragon snake and stuff. That was great. Had trooper action in it. Also, again, like I'm a huge Rebels fan, so seeing like Zeb in live action was like really cool. Obviously I love Mandalorian, so like just all these things. We're really checking off a lot of boxes for me. And yeah, I think with that, we should move on to the next topic that we actually have, which is some Mandalorian and Grogu stuff. Since we're talking so much about this movie, I guess it's a big deal. I guess it's doing well, which I am happy to see it's actually doing pretty well in terms of like numbers or whatever. So that is cool. So let's share the screen again. All right. This is not the first slide. Come on, guys. You got to sneak into the future. So the Mandalorian and Grogu figures we want vintage collection. Figures we have, which I'm happy to have figures in hand while a movie is out. I think that's great. Even if like for some reason we don't like the movie or whatever, it's cool to have figures because then we can make our own stories and make it the thing that we wanted to see. So I love that kind of like creativity and just like limitations that don't exist when it comes to like our creativity and imaginations. So we have Din, a new Din deluxe figure. Great figure. Love it. Looks so much better. We've talked about it already. We've got those snowtroopers that look great without the front part of the masks. We have the AT-AT driver. Looks pretty good. I know the helmet might be a little small for some people. Maybe it could be a little bigger, sure, but great figure regardless. The AT-RT, absolutely wonderful. Have one of those right here on the desk. God, I love this thing. It's so boss. And then we have the Remnant Stormtrooper 4-pack, which again, probably one of the better paint applications they've ever done on Stormtroopers. Better than the Sand Trooper that we just looked at, better than the Remnant Stormtroopers from like the first season of the Mandalorian And yeah, it's a good set. Definitely a good one to pick up. So far, 5 releases, all great stuff. Figures announced, question mark? Yes, 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 as Grogu would say in his mech suit, which was great to add this. I was making this like slide stuff before, like getting ready before the Hasbro Pulse stream to like, do this live later. And I had to add this page and it was great. I'm happy that I was able to add 3 characters being announced. Really cool stuff. So yeah, in terms of figures we want, or at least figures that I think would be really cool. Zeb flight suit, check mark, because we got him. Love it. Awesome. I love being able to check stuff off. March Madness while you're like doing it, your top 25s, or even just like something like this on a live stream to just be like, yeah, we were going to talk about it, but guess what? We can talk about how we are getting it. So really cool getting that Zeb. Now, I do want Zeb in his bomber jacket look because he was actually in that more of the movie than the flight suit, which the flight suit is obviously really cool. And I'm sure we'll see him in it again. But yeah, I want to see him in this bomber jacket look so I can put him in a hallway knocking out some bucket heads, man. Also, it's cool that they're like bringing the bomber jacket look to these characters. It's obviously very like World War II, like pilot like and stuff like that. So it's just a cool vibe. Like Carson Teva's got it, all those Adelphi Rangers. Yeah, digging it, digging it. Also, you can see here Zeb's kind of got like a gauntlet thing going on. So it's like a little bit of his like Rebels vibe combined with this like new like World War II pilot look. So I think that would be a cool figure to get. Definitely want to see that version. Moving on, Rada the Hutt. I think it goes without question that Rada the Hutt was looking swole, man. Like, dude was in the gym and he was like, I'm not gonna be like my dad who's like extremely out of weight and a jerk. I'm gonna be this badass gladiator with a six-pack. Dude, I loved Rada in this movie. He was so cool. Also, again, Clone Wars fan, so seeing little Stinky turn into this swole ass gladiator it was hilarious, man. Really cool. I saw some spoilers, going into it. Like the reviews were like his voice where he speaks in basic and they were like clowning on it. Honestly, it didn't bother me that much. And I wasn't even like that caught off guard by it. And I quickly kind of like adapted to it. And now it's like really normal. But yeah, I want a Rada the Hutt figure bad. I know Actionverse has one. I'm not getting that thing. Doesn't have all the articulation I would want or need. And I think Hasbro needs to do this one proper. I've seen some people already 3D like sculpt like a version for like 6-inch and 3.75 like resin prints. I think it looks really cool. If Hasbro doesn't deliver this, maybe I'll go that route, but I have a feeling we could see Rada. I do. He's an easy one to like, make a super deluxe figure out of, and like I'm gonna buy it for sure. So, and clearly he's gonna be in like future stuff since he's hanging around a Delphi base now. So I don't know, man. Hopefully we can get a Rada the Hutt. I really hope they don't change his outfit though or something and give him like a bomber jacket. Although Zeb did say I have something for you. So I kind of feel like we're gonna have two versions probably of Rada the Hutt. I don't know. Unless they can make it like a removable jacket or something. But then Colonel Ward. Sigourney Weaver in Star Wars. It goes without saying. Need a figure. Absolutely need a figure. And then we have our X-Wing pilot look. Now, I want both. Which one do I put more priority on? I'm going to say her non-X-Wing pilot look. And it's because she's in that the majority of the movie. In the X-Wing pilot version, they've never really tooled up like a female like body for the X-Wing pilot. So like they probably just do what they did with the 4-pack and like pop her head on that, which I could be okay with. Should they do like a female body version of it? Maybe updated with rocker ankles or something like that. I think that would be smart. But I could live with just a new head, helmet, put it on that body, and put in her X-Wing. Because her X-Wing was pretty cool. It is very similar to like Blue Leaders and just that look. Yeah. This needs to be a TVC release. Something about this is just easy, low-hanging fruit. If Hasbro wanted to do me a kindness and actually give me that ladder right there too, because they never include ladders with these X-Wings anymore. It's like something they used to do back in the day. But I think a lot of people would appreciate that ladder. I mean, those things go for a high price just to get that ladder from like old Legacy Collection days. So Hasbro, if you want an idea, put in a simple ladder. It's like 2 bars of plastic and a couple other mid bars, and I think you'd make some people pretty happy. But yeah, I think your X-Wing would be really cool. That should be an easy slam dunk. There's not much new tooling that even needs to go in there. Honestly, like I was just saying, pop a head, helmet, and that ladder, boom. You got my $100 or whatever you want to charge me these days for a vehicle like that. But going back real quick, definitely want her non-pilot look. I think it'd be really cool to get. And yeah, I need it for recreating scenes. And then talking about Zeb again, this is how happy I would be to see him in this look as well. And again, he's just like such a well-articulated figure, at least the versions we had. So getting another proper Zed in TVC that I can put in a Razor Crest like this would be super, super cool. I'd be really hyped on it. And then moving on, somebody we've already talked about a little bit, who's very popular. This dude, we have him like this multiple times. We even have him with that rondelle under his little cloak, which, by the way, side note, this cloak we've seen it through a lot of different like adventures and stuff like that. And like he even clearly had it at the time of Order 66. He's been in mud, he swim around with like krillfish, he's been in all sorts of sand. His pocket sand game must be like insane. He would drive Anakin out of his mind. You would think this cloak smells like absolute garbage. Like no one's ever put new clothes on Grogu. That's probably why he said, "Screw you, Luke. That guy gave me a brand new shirt made of Beskar. This thing's worth pretty a pretty rupee. I'm gonna go back with that guy. You're just offering me Yoda's like hand me down saber and saying I can't like love anyone. Meanwhile, he's wearing this like cloak thing that probably smells like absolute garbage. So yeah, going back to the discussion, seeing him with that mudhorn armor and that little pouch satchel thing, dude, he looks so cool. Ah, I love it. I've never been somebody who's like into like hot toys or anything, but I gotta tell you, that Hot Toys figure that's got like this whole look going on, it's like the one thing I would consider probably buying in terms of hot toys. And I know like Hasbro has that like electronic version that came out, which is cool and all, but like the teeth look a little weird on that thing. If you've ever watched the videos of it like talking or whatever, it's got like weird fangs. It just looks a little too, I don't even know the word. It kind of looks like a comical version of like Dracula. But yeah, I need this TVC figure or accessory or whatever you want to call it. I need him saluting like that. I need another one like posed with like his walking stick or whatever. I need another one with like a force hand push thing. So he's like floating Rada up. They can even include that with the Rada figure. Yeah, I need some versions like this included with my stuff. And then the Anzellans. I need all these Anzellans. We need all of them. I think the only one we have is Minch, so we need Clang, Keto, and Bai. Need all those guys. They're rad. I love the Anzellans. All the puppetry in this movie was just like spot on. What a good time. And that little speeder, oh, that thing was adorable. Just the scene, like it was so touching. Yeah, when they're starting to go on this adventure, it's like everything I love about weird weird quests and stuff like that. So yeah, like we were talking about in the beginning, that thing is so tiny too. They could easily pack that in with a proper version of this ship, and I think that'd be a pretty kick-ass world building piece. And then Rio Durant, or not Rio Durant, his brother, his blood, Hugo Durant. Ah, I love these aliens. They are so cool. I really want a proper Rio Durant. Speaking of Solo, we had that like 5 POA one, which I never really picked up. I think he's more than 5 POA, but you get the point. Yeah, Hugo Durant would be cool. Do I think we'll ever get that? Probably not. Who knows? But a collector can dream, right? He was neat. I really enjoyed that weird alien thing. But even more unpractical and less likely is Gattori. Again, a Gator guy, hilarious name. Loved him. He was super cool. Do I think we'd get a figure of him? No. But do I want one? Sure. He'd be cool. And like with Grogu and the little fish, that would be amazing. I saw the Black Series like version that they're getting. He comes with the little fish. Ugh, I'm so jealous of that release. I want something cool like that with TVC. We've gotten a lot of great Grogu and like accessories like the frogs and all that other stuff. So yeah, could use a fish. Could use a fish. He was really enjoying that fish, I got to tell you. And then the Amani. I think without a doubt we're going to see this one probably pretty soon. Because if I was Hasbro, I would be thinking, hey, that movie's coming out. This was like in trailers and stuff. So it wasn't like, a secret that the Amani were going to be in this. And there's a certain 96 that they need to check off. And this is a character. So I don't know. It'd be smart of them to do this while the iron's hot. Get this Amani out from the Mandalorian Grogu and also do that Amana Man for the original 96. Make a lot of people happy. 2 birds, 1 stone, or 2 Minox, and 1 saber, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the Amani were cool. I also love that they did the whole like little like rolling thing, like a pill bug or like a droideka. That was pretty sick. Yeah, they were great in the movie too. Yeah, I was really digging them. Let's see what you guys are saying. Taking to see my kids. Yeah, we talked about that. Mando and Grogu got me thinking of Indiana Jones, where each movie is just a fun, self contained adventure. Not every Star Wars movie needs to be part of a trilogy or foundational. Totally agree. Kind of similar to what I was talking about with the aliens thing. But yes, that is a really good way of thinking about it too when it comes to Indiana Jones. These just like standalone adventures that are just like fun. And I think that's something that they probably were channeling, to be honest, given like Favreau's like inspirations when it comes to like early Lucasfilm and ILM stuff and all that. And Dave as well. For me, I preferred Mando and Grogu over Solo, but only because I could see Alden interact as Han. Yeah, Harrison Ford just has too much screen presence for most actors to match. Dude, Harrison Ford, it's like, yeah, he's just beyond recognizable and beyond like, there's so many things your brain just like thinks Harrison Ford, Han Solo, Indiana Jones, like he's even one of my favorite presidents. Air Force One. Yeah, I love Harrison Ford, man. I was watching a couple YouTube videos with him recently, and yeah, he's an awesome dude. Which version of Ward you want first? Definitely the non X-wing pilot version. Although, it's a good question. Which one do I want more in general is the non X-wing pilot, but which one would I want first? Maybe the X-wing, just because it's so easy for them to do, and if they could deliver that, maybe it could help towards the funding of the other one. And like I said, put in that ladder for the love of the force. Like I like those ladders when it comes to vehicles. How's she gonna get in the X-wing? She can't float with the force. Use the force. New Razor Crest with Rada the Hutt with Zeb and Jacket. Dude, now that's a wish list right there. I ain't mad at it. Rada and the twins would be cool. Oh yeah. Don't you worry. We're getting to the twins. A whole new Hutt sculpt. Yeah. And someone actually made a comment on the Jabba from a little while back review on the channel, and they were saying like that it's not that great of a hut in their opinion. And I gotta agree, it's kind of mostly a statue. It's got like articulated arms and whatever, but the lack of it being bendy, kind of like the Legacy Collection version or whatever, does make it like a little limiting. So, whoops. Yeah, so like a proper hut would actually be kind of nice. I had to put this up there. It's just one of my favorite images, period. Just look at his ears flapping in the wind. Ah, what a vibe. Speaking of the Hutt twins, that's why I wanted to move on to this. So, of course, we got Janu Coin, Hog's Breath, another hilarious character. Also, shout out to Stacey Teen, which makes me kind of want Hog's Breath a little bit more just because we didn't get that figure with the HasLab gunship. So maybe like a digital scope could like lean towards a tweak here and you get Hog's Breath. I don't know, man. But that was cool to see this alien species in the Mandalorian Grogu. And then we got Commander Barrow, who hilariously gets blown up within like what the first like 10 minutes of the movie. I was expecting him to last a little longer, but pretty hilarious. Like one and out. Now I could see them, and I forgot to put it in here, but that little mini rig thing that flies out of the AT-AT, I could see them doing that vehicle just because of like the callback to the Kenner mini rig and probably doing Commander Barrow in there as like a pack-in figure. I think that would be smart, Hasbro. I think that would be pretty smart. Then the Hutt twins. Would we get these? Who knows? Would they just use the Jabba body? Probably. I would prefer something a little better, like you said, Steven. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know am I taking new tooling here versus possibly getting like something like a Savage Opress or like, I don't know, another character out of this list of something we want. A list of many things from other movies and shows that we want. Hard to say, but I do think that the Hutt twins have been like kind of prominent in like Book of Boba Fett and now this movie to like, they do kind of deserve some kind of release. But yeah, definitely want to see them. And then another check mark, Embo. Love it. Enough said about Embo. He was great in the movie, and I'm hyped that we're getting that figure, man. So hyped. Taking a step back real quick, Commander Janu Coin. Definitely kind of needed. just because like the world building, completing scenes here, but like in terms of like an exciting action figure, I mean, he's a guy in a suit at this point. uh, he doesn't really scream too much action figure. He gets a blaster at least, but yeah, I don't know. He's just like the least looking Imperial dude. But again, he would be essential for like recreating a lot of stuff. But speaking of stuff that really says action figure, let's talk about some droids. And we have the droid gotcha mercenaries. So we got the B2 mercenary checked off, which is great. We had that B1 variant. That thing is cool. Really hoping to see these two. Really want to see that stap. I want to see more of these droids. And I think Hasbro's probably going to do some work here. Just like looking at the B1, like they could probably use and leverage some of the body from the existing droid that we have and then kit bash it with all these different parts. And we'll take a look at like the tooling in just a second. But something else I wanted to point out, if this was another day and another time and another wish list back in the day, we probably would have these droids. Because these things just scream action figure. Like Joy Toy makes those like crazy mech figures and like they're pretty cool and impressive. I haven't picked one up. I almost did like a couple years ago. But these two, man, Bullethead and Argus were pretty rad. Love seeing the stop motion. Um, yeah, Favreau and them have really been into like big mech droids and stuff. Like we saw those ones in the book of Boba Fett. They were pretty cool. I think these guys were way cooler in my opinion. They just look like crazy Warhammer type of like, I don't know, just badass droids. And they were pretty cool. They put up a pretty good fight and they were like intimidating. But yeah. I don't know if Hasbro will do these guys. We can dream because they would be pretty sick. Pretty sick. But yeah, taking a look at these, and let's put them on the big old screen full. Yeah, so as you can see, we got the one in the middle. He pretty much matches up. He definitely looks a lot dirtier here and just kind of like less shiny. So maybe that is something I'm going to try and achieve when I get one of those in hand, just to kind of dirty it up more. But yeah, taking a look at the other ones, like look at the B1 battle droid. Obviously the midsection is very B1 battle droid, but then it looks like we have, I'm not even sure what this tooling right here is, but like it kind of looks similar to the HK droids. So maybe that's something they could kind of like leverage in there. Um, Same with the arms. I think that's much different than like your average assassin droid, but yeah, maybe if they leverage some of the HK legs and maybe new arms here, and then the bottom rest of the leg piece can be new. Pretty close to getting like maybe this figure. So that could be neat. Taking a look at this dude, very super battle droid legs right here, which is pretty funny. So, interesting. I wonder if, yeah, I could see us getting this guy next, more likely, just because the legs look to be exactly like B2 battle droids needed for Battle Geonosis. Huh. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that could be it. This could be our like Battle Geonosis like tooling right there for super battle droids. Oh, go back. Pardon me. And then yeah, they would do a whole new upper section here. I have no clue what those arms are, but I'm sure they could tool something up. But yeah, all in all, I think these guys look pretty rad, and I think they'll be very essential to at least get these other two into our collections. And I would army build these guys and kit bash and paint them up to make a nice squad of these gotcha droids. And then I just wanted to put this in here because look at Argus looking all menacing. Like I love the design here. I love these were actually like stop motion things by Phil Tippett and his team. I just love everything about this. It was so cool. Also, like the face design here is so awesome. Like this grill here, which is very teeth like, and then the Cyclops look just like makes him look like a badass. Looks mean. And then moving on, we have a little bit of Imperial action. So the AT Commander Walker 2, I believe it was, the guy who's all like, he's breached the hatch and then just blows up. Definitely clearly need these guys in our collections just because we had the pilots or like the drivers. And then there's Walker 1 guy who I think is actually a little bit more essential just because if we ever do get Barrow and like putting him in like one of our AT-ATs, or if they give us this Remnant Walker, with the AT-AT drivers and borrow, we can like actually complete a scene. So I don't know. I definitely want this guy, but like I feel like I got to get both. Um, he's a little bit more priority in terms of completing a scene, but this guy obviously had the line, so it's kind of like which one do I want? I don't know, but honestly, do both. The only thing that's different here is the head sculpt, and then the snow weather mouse droid. Needless to say, gonna need it. Probably should just be a pack and accessory along with an accessory Grogu who can like force crush it or whatever. But yeah, obviously you need that. Will you stop moving back? Pardon me. Um, oh my gosh, my mouse. Sorry guys. Out of control. Situation normal. All right, so the mouse droid. Get that. Dragon Snake. Ugh. It was so cool to see. Love it. In a galaxy collection room far, far away in a different time, maybe we'd get a Dragon Snake if this was like episode 1 days or something like that. But yeah, I don't think we'd ever get a Dragon Snake. But it would be pretty cool to get something that was like a rubber that you could actually like shape to be like the snake and like have it move around or whatever and had like articulating jaws or something. Seems like a very Hammond collection thing that could be done, but yeah, I don't think we'll be getting that. And then the Dejarik Gladiators. Ugh. I think that was such a fun thing to add into the movie. Really cool. Seeing them all like actually in action was awesome, man. They were also creepy as heck. I just loved it. Everything about that was really cool. So needless to say, it would be really neat to get some of these as like actual like figures or like wool building beast or something like that. And given the nostalgia of this from like A New Hope and everything, I think it would be something that sells pretty well. Pretty sure I took this from like Gentle Giant or whatever. So yeah, this is just something I think a lot of fans would like to have in their collections or just some version of it, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to show off this Dragon Snake too, just because like this like framing and cinematography here is just absolutely beautiful. And I know this is probably like based off artwork that like Doug Chang and the team did, but just like the shape and just the motion here and like all of this is just so wonderfully like the composition is just absolutely wonderful. And then how this just falls almost dead center in screen with like that water just flowing down like that, and then just Din here. Everything about this composition is just beautiful artwork to me. Just absolutely loved it. Lighting, everything like that. Yeah, it was really cool. Love that. And then getting towards the end of our figures we want stuff, the Anzellan ship. We've talked about it. Enough said. Thing was cool. I want it. It's so small. Come on, Hasbro. It will be the tiniest ship you ever make for the vintage collection. So it should be pretty dang easy. Make it happen. The Warlord Speeder. I think it's pretty neat. It's such a simple and sleek design. Will we get that thing? Probably not. If this was back in the days of Solo, we probably would have. And I've seen some people use the Solo one as like a stand-in for their photography, which is really cool. But yeah, I just don't see us ever getting the Speeder anytime soon. The Stap. I think that's much more important personally. And again, I want to see it with that mercenary droid. And then the Walker. I personally like our current AT-AT. I think it is sufficient. I really like it a lot. It's my favorite vintage collection or just 375 vehicle in general. If they wanted to tool a new different head, because it's really the only thing that's different here, and put it on that body, would I be mad about it? No, especially if they weather that thing up pretty nice. I think that'd be cool. They could even strip out the electronics if they really want. I don't need the electronics. They are nice to have on those AT-ATs back there, but I can live without it. I think the AT-AT is just like a nice vehicle. A lot of people are always looking for them. They're pretty hefty on the secondary market in terms of price. And I don't think I want anything that's much larger, to be honest. Space, as you know, is always hard to come by sometimes when it comes to collecting. So getting a bigger AT-AT that was like the size of a small dog or pony is just not something I really need in my collection room. So I'm happy with the ones that are back there. And if they want to put the different head on there, that'd be cool. But let me know what you guys think. Do you want a bigger one? Do you want to see this Walker in general? I think it would be pretty cool. But will it happen? Who knows? It's kind of a big item. And then what my guy Sci-Fi Dude was talking about, the Razor Crest #2. Now we had the Razor Crest. It was a HasLab item, which means it was essentially crowdfunded, and that was the only way you could get one. unless you're going to eBay, which they're kind of affordable again on eBay. I haven't checked since the movie came out. Maybe the prices went back up. But yeah, it's pretty much the cost of what it was like when we got it as a like HasLab thing. So you're going to spend like 400, 500 bucks on eBay to get this thing. And not this version. You're going to get the first version from like the original Mandalorian, season 1 and 2. Now this version, questionable. And people already immediately were like, would they ever consider redoing the Razor Crest for people who never got it? Especially more so now that we saw it's going to be in the movie. Oh, wait, they kind of repainted it ever so slightly. Could they release it as a non-HasLab item and like kind of strip it down? No flight stand, no carbonite blocks, maybe none of the accessories that go inside of the thing, and then give it the paint job. I don't know. Would I be mad since technically these were supposed to be like dream products or whatever? I really wouldn't be mad. For me, anything that helps 375 and 375 collectors, I'm all here for. So as long as they're making something where the original one is very unique and still like a special item, I'm cool with. So again, like if they really wanted to strip this thing down, maybe even the paint applications aren't quite as nice as the one we have back there. Although I want it to be the same level of proper silver, maybe just not as like there's some nice weathering on that thing too. So maybe if they don't do that and maybe do this yellow striping, I wouldn't be too mad about it. But it is a large item, and how much demand is there from not just like us collectors, but even like casual people who saw this movie? I don't know. This should have been something they could have been planning for now to like be trying to sell this thing while the movie's out. I think that would have created more buzz for people who aren't, avid TVC collectors or like new to the hobby or just your average person who went to the movie or Star Wars fan. But yeah, needless to say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was thinking of taking some like yellow electrical tape and kind of covering mine to recreate what we got going on here for the meantime and like taking photos or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. What's Hasbro going to do? Are they going to release us some more like decals since they like doing that these days? And here's a decal sheet for your Razor Crest, by the way. Would I be mad about it? I guess not. But I want to know what you guys think when it comes to the Razor Crest. Should they re-release it? You tell me. Rada with a pack-in carded Grogu in cage in the in the cage. That's a great idea, Jeff. And shocking degenerate creature. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be cool. That's really nice. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Ward would be great because we need a female X-Wing pilot. I definitely agree. And like the X-Wing pilot could use a little bit of tweaking, to be honest. Like the lack of rocker ankles is kind of annoying, especially because like the New Republic, like pilots that we got with the E-Wing or whatever have rocker ankles. So it's just like, come on, don't do the original trilogy character like that or like that sculpt or whatever. It needs a little bit of love too. Minor investment for something. I'm back. Yes, I want the X-Wing. Heck yeah. Glad to see you back, man. And I agree. That X-Wing would be awesome. I'd be really, really into that. Sup, homies? Hey, what's up? Nice to see you in the chat, checking out the stream. Awesome, man. I appreciate that too. Really, really appreciate it. Dude, my guy Rada, yes. I need those muscles in my collection, man. Rada was kicking some ass, dude. Dude, I wasn't expecting him to do that like full on like body slam move and like the backwards like body slam. He had some moves. Also, I don't know how Din got up after Rada landing on him like that because Rada has got to be what, a good ton of weight. Like, I know your Beskar is pretty strong or whatever, and probably prevented your ribs from caving in, but like, I'm sure other parts of your body might have been hurting. Time for Grogu to be more of an articulated figure. Yeah, I know. It would be nice, right? His arms have some articulation, and his head usually does, but like he's so tiny. I don't know how they could do it. They need some advancements in some of that tooling at that scale for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna need those in Zella and their speeder. I know, right? I just had we got to go back to that. It's seriously one of my favorite things. Out of all the images I keep seeing like pop up and stuff, this is just so simply wonderful. Ah, love those dudes. Love them. Don't hate me, but I'm tempted to get the new TBS Grogu as I loved Grogu's interlude in the movie and slightly larger figure would be better for picks. Would not be mad at you. I even considered it myself just because like it's a small Grogu figure and like again, yeah. I love that look. I love that look. I don't buy like TBS anything to be honest. The only thing I've ever bought that's TBS is like the spider. I got it off eBay just because I wanted one of the larger ones for my like collection room. And like the only actual 6-inch thing that I collect is X-Men 97, just because I love X-Men. Like that was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. And those figures were practically like what 5 inches or whatever. So it's like that annoying space between 3.75 and 6-inch, which always annoyed me as a kid because like they didn't scale with my other figures, but I digress. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be mad at you. And yeah. I mean, isn't that thing like $20 or something too? Or 10? Something like that. Which he's so tiny. Like he's seriously like the size of a quarter. And like this one from the action verse or whatever is not bad. Oh, let me put this on the big screen too. Because I actually noticed this the other day when I was taking a look at this figure. This is collecting problems. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell. There we go. They gave me this figure with 2 right hands. Or like 2 left hands. His right hand over here has the wrong hand on it. I want him to focus for you guys. And like maybe I can twist it around a little bit. There you go. So like it's incorrect. His like thumb is not right. And I was like, what is up with his hand? It looks odd on that side. And it's because it's 2 stupid left hands. And they put it on his right arm. So a bit of a bummer when it came to that. I was like, man, this cheap kitty line gave me this Grogu with this deformity. This is probably not even the real Grogu. It's a clone. It's a defective clone. Another member of the Sad Batch. But yeah, man, I wouldn't be mad at you at all. Okay, pretend I'm Steve. I say you can only pick one of these. What could you choose? Oh man, why are you doing that to me, man? Ugh. Only one? Yeah. Dang. Only one, huh? All right, let me look through this entire list and decide who would I get. All right, definitely out of this page, Ward or Rada. That little Anzellan speeder is pretty cool. I don't think like I could live without anyone here. As cool as the huts would be. I got a little bit of droid action, so that's nice. Those guys are low hanging fruit. Ooh, the Djarik set is pretty dang cool too. Okay. So I think it's going to be between a Djarik character, a speeder, Rada, or Ward. I think the Djarik set's out, so it's between this little speeder, which is so tiny, so I shouldn't even have to ask for that, Steve. So it's going to be between Rada and Ward. And if I had to choose, dang. I'm going to go with Rada. Yeah, I'm going to go with... dang, I don't know. Would they be more likely to make a Rada without me asking versus Ward? And just give me the X-Wing pilot version? And then I had to like ask for the next like 6 March Madnesses to get her like Colonel look. I'm going to go Rada. I'm just going to go Rada. I mean, just look at him. He's ridiculous. He's a buff. Look at him. He's a buff slug. He's amazing. He's so ridiculous. Also, he'd be a hefty piece of plastic. So, you know what? I'm going Rada. Also, those 2 giant like axes. And I do have Din with that sword, so I could actually make some really cool gladiator scenes. Yeah, I'm going to go Rada. That was a good question. So hard to pick one, man. I don't know why you would do that to me. It's a good question, but it was tough. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was cool. That was definitely cool. I mean, Favreau and them love some good cameos. Amanda Man must have been such a well-behaved Imani. I know, right? He was, like, really chill. He was just, like, kinda back there holding his little staff. He's like, "I kill things. See, there are all these skulls on here and whatnot." But, like, yeah, he was really chill, man. These other Imani were, like, the dudes you don't wanna mess with. Whereas Amanda Man was just like, "Hey, what are you into?" "Yeah, I like comics too." "Right on. Cool." The other guys were just like, "Can I sell you some death sticks and also try to rob you at the same time?" We need that dragon snake. Couldn't agree more. It's a really beautiful, beautiful creature. Not to mention we saw it in the Clone Wars on Alhada, so I wouldn't mind having a proper Clone Wars Obi-Wan that can like go up against that thing. Yeah, man, Dragon Snake is cool. I take a whole Gatori Swamp play set with the platform, fire, fish, chair, slingshot, and big frog. Dang. I love that. Dude, you know what you want, and I ain't mad about it. That's cool. Yeah, it'd be like the equivalent of like a Dagobah playset back in the day, right? Yeah, I think that'd be neat. I wonder how he cooks his fish, or he's just eat it raw too. He was hanging them. It looked like he was gonna smoke them or something. It gets better the second time, and I loved it the first watch. I loved how the imps ratted out the warlord as soon as Mano entered the room. Yeah, that was pretty hilarious too. Speaking of, it was pretty funny because I was talking in a group chat where somebody was like, "Did we even see the deluxe Mando rifle being used?" And we actually did see that. It's literally in that scene where he comes in, he's like pointing it at them, and he literally takes, I think, like what 2, 3 shots with it. And then a stormtrooper grabs it and he kind of like hits him with it, and then like switches to like his side pistol and like close combat. And that's like all we saw of that rifle, which is pretty funny. I appreciate them giving us that accessory, even though it was like kind of one of those Razor Crest moments where it's like, all right, well, you might as well blown up that rifle too. Um, and speaking of rifles, I was happy that he was able to like find his old like pulse rifle or a replacement for it. So it's so funny. It's like it's almost like they knew the Razor Crest and the pulse rifle and all these things blowing up in season 2 was like so gut wrenching and like really took our hearts away. To like, all right, we'll give it back to you. So yeah, it was pretty funny. Star Wars has always been and always will be fun space adventures. ESB was an accidental lightning in a bottle. I love that film because it was my first Star Wars movie. Right on, man. I agree. It's all just like fun space adventures for sure. My dad shared that movie with me around the time Revenge of the Sith was coming to theaters. Oh, heck yeah. Right on, man. I don't care about getting these Imperials. Right on. I mean, we've gotten a lot of Imperials, and they're also just like really easy low hanging fruit for Hasbro at this point. The INT-4 mini rig flying out of the AT-AT was an awesome moment for vintage fans. Yes, 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 yes. That thing looked, it was cool. It was super cool. I also just love like things that come out of the AT-AT just because like the ones that we have in our collections have the speeder bike that pop out the back. So seeing like another vehicle that actually like interacts with it was pretty cool. I think you also see in Rebels like when Callus is trying to get the old clones and they go down that like they zoom out at the back on speeders, which I always thought was really fun. Just because like we had that vehicle and toy or whatever. So yeah, I thought it was a cool moment for vintage fans, and it makes it even not even like it's a relevant item now because it's like actually made into canon in like a current thing. So it's fun for people from back in the day and people now. B1 with Stap would be sweet. Could not agree more. I think we'll get the B1, but that might be it. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like they might give it to us. Definitely the B1 for sure. I just would not put it past them to do all of them because there's only like technically 3. So it's like, why not? But then again, I guess Hasbro can be Hasbro sometimes. Do we think Hasbro picked the Geonosis theme because Separatist droids would be in the new movie? I think they chose that theme, as they said, because it was kind of like the beginning of like all the themes when it comes to like the Clone Wars and just like separatist droids in general. Um, but yeah, it's nice that like, like Filoni and Favreau always going back to like these things, like, the prequel stuff, like with the battle droids and whatever. Yeah, it all goes in circles. It's wonderful. I agree. I agree. The gladiator scene was just like cool. It was really awesome. I liked it a lot more than I thought it would. There must be some kind of existing dragon snake toy that could be customized. Oh, that's a really good idea too. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of like snake. Maybe someone can like sculpt a proper dragon snake head that can be attached or something. That'd be rad. More TVC creatures. That's true. What is the last creature that we got? The bantha. Yeah, which is actually a really good one. We do need a dewback. Oh no, the last creature we got was the Geonosis Arena thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. They're doing some stuff. They're doing some stuff, but like we haven't gotten like a large beast in a long time. So yeah, and Zellen's ship is a must. Couldn't agree more. Really want that speeder. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of good speeders and just like good stuff in this movie. Just in general, the whole Mandoverse. Yeah, and that's something to bring up. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've been going to my Target and they do have like a end cap for the Mandalorian and Grogu, and it kind of pisses me off that there's no TVC on it. There's all this like Black Series stuff and like even non-Mando Grogu, Mando and Grogu like Black Series things on it, and then like the Action Verse thing, which I get it. It's cool to like get kids like excited about toys again because kids don't seem to be like that into like that kind of hobby or like even just playing with like physical things anymore, unless it's like a screen and a computer or whatever. But yeah, man, come on, Hasbro. You got some great stuff for like vintage collection that could be on shelves. Like that deluxe Mando. I've seen it at Walmart. That's cool. But like, why is it not on this cap? You got Stormtrooper form packs. Those would be cool to put out there. You got those great like snow troopers. Like, why aren't those in store, man, right now? The only like they have TVC at my Target, but it's like in the normal aisle, and it's like the Padme wave, or like the last couple figures from like they've already sold through like three sets of that wave at my one of my Targets. So like, dang, come on, man, strike when the iron's hot. Rada and Landspeeder. Definitely want Rada. Definitely want Rada. As they've released different versions of G.I. Joe and Ghostbusters HasLab, is there something about TVC that makes it less viable? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it has to do with like the licensing or like what the deal is. They always use that term to like it's always evolving or whatever. So yeah, I don't think it's off the table to be honest. I just don't think they know how to approach it. And I mean, the Crest came out a long time ago, and the world has gotten a little bit insane since then. We don't even need to talk about gas prices or any kind of that chaos, but I'm sure that has something to do with like shipping costs. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the price would be. But I'd be interested to know like if they're thinking about this. They have to be. They have to be. I mean, the tooling investment's there, so it's like I would buy another Crest just to have the yellow version. Like, do it. Do it, Anakin. Do it. If they release the Razor Crest, should there be a reduction in price? I don't know if there would be a reduction in price, my dude. If anything, it might be the same price for less stuff. Just with how everything's going these days. So it's like, does that warrant it? If you never got that one, if you want both, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it would be lower. Yeah. Need to be going up, not down. I'd take a reuse of the Walker with a new head, gut the sounds, and streamline the interior to match one of the movie scene. Should it be the launch area for the uh, fight scene? I agree. I think again, like I said, put a new head on that one. I would not be mad about it. Strip out like you said, the sounds, that'd be kind of cool. And if they did like a new interior in there to match one from the movie scene, I think that'd be pretty neat. Because like the interior in there is like not that great. So if it was just like maybe one level and kind of a little bit more detailed, or at least with a nice like tunnel vision, something similar to one of our play sets, I think that can be really cool. Yeah, so I'd be here for that. I think that would be a really interesting way to approach it. I'm really curious that they even still have the tooling for that Legacy Collection AT-AT. I mean, they released it in Vintage Collection a while back as that Toys R Us exclusive. Like I had the Endor one. I never got the Vintage Collection like ESB version because basically the Legacy Collection. But yeah, I wonder where that tooling is or how's it doing? Is it okay? Is Padme, is she okay? Absolutely. They should re-release the Razor Crest. I think a lot of people want the Razor Crest. Collect Star Wars. That's why we're here, aren't we? That's why we're here. Where could they add more articulation to TVC Grogu? Ooh, dude, that's a good dang question because he is tiny as heck. I guess it would be nice if his arms could do a little bit more, or at least at a minimum hold something, which I still find very challenging. He's just so stinking tiny. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how they get him to hold a stick. It's probably gonna have to be sculpted on there. Yeah, I don't know. Not a designer, so I don't know the tolerances when it comes to these plastic things. U-wing would be my pick. Yeah, I meant to put the U-wing on here, and it's definitely one that I think would be a cool vehicle, cool to get. Would you guys prefer a U-wing or the Razor Crest as like a re-release? I know a lot of people want the U-wing. It's been in a lot of things. It's in Rogue One, obviously. It's in Rebels. Clearly, it's in this show. Yeah, man, the U-wing is cool. Yeah, I think U-wing will probably be a very possible future. I don't want it to be a HasLab. I'm sick of everything being a HasLab. Hasbro, before we move on, the U-wing, consider doing it like a Pulse exclusive, like the Throne Room, like you did with the Sentinels with X-Men 97. And you do all these things. Make it an exclusive. Do that open order thing again. I just say this because sometimes it's like really frustrating to have to like, I don't know, rally behind these campaigns all the time. Like we've shown up so many times. The Razor Crest, Cantina, the Ghost, the Gunship. We've done a lot. Just work with us a little bit here. I don't want everything to always be like a HasLab. I really enjoyed Mando and Grogu, but why the hell were there credits at the beginning of a Star Wars movie? That's a good question. I think they just wanted it to be a little bit different. I'm not sure. But yeah, overall, the movie was great, right? It was great. Pick the Dragon Snake. Dragon Snake sick, man. Yep, I go Rada too. Right on. I just hopped in. I need more droid Gatra. LOL. Dude, I think we're all here with you in terms of like we want those droids. And hopefully we get all of them. Vehicle honorable mention, Red Jammer Y-Wing at the hut and the hut Starhopper. I didn't put those on here either. The Starhopper would be pretty cool. It's got such a like a vibe that it reminds me of like the skiffs, which was really cool. And the red Jammer Y-Wing was pretty neat. Also, shout out to the B-Wing, which was such a tease. Can't believe they showed us that nice like image of the B-Wing there, looking all beautiful. We didn't see it fly at all or do anything. Hopefully when we get to like maybe Filoni's movie or whatever that's rumored to happen, like we're gonna get that big galactic battle that they keep talking about, or even in Ahsoka or whatever. But yeah, I want to see some B-Wing action, man. They were really cool to see in Rebels, so seeing them in actual live action stuff, be cool. I always loved the B-Wing as a kid too. Got a jet. This stream was a lot of fun. Hope to see more. Awesome, man. There will definitely be more to come. May the force be with you, and glad that you were able to hang out with us. Appreciate it. Same, no TVC at my Walmart or EB Games, GameStop Canada in months. It sucks. Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks is like I feel like it's not every location is the same. Like distribution is just like weird when it comes to certain places. But yeah, man, my area is not too bad. 2 Walmarts carry a good amount of TVC. Most of my Targets do. I've got 3 locations. One of them is really good. But yeah, yeah. I've also noticed the Target that I go to that's really, really decent, kind of by like where I work is like attached to like a mall. And I feel like those mall locations seem to get a lot of good stuff. When I was living out in California, again, I was going to a Target that was attached to a mall and it always got a lot of TVC figures. Like when that Clone Wars Mall and Ahsoka uh figure line was or like wave was dropping, like it got like I swear 3 cases of that stuff. And it all sold pretty well. I bought a lot of it too. But yeah, it was very, successful. The Action Verse B1 with Stap actually looks pretty nice. I contemplated getting it. Also, have you seen the Blokies or Blocks? I don't even know how you say that thing. Star Wars stuff. It's not quite vintage, but it really looks nice. I have seen it. It looks a little weird though, because it's like kind of goofy animated at the same time. So it's not super my vibe, but I have seen like some of it and like it looks decent. We were talking about it a little bit earlier too in the beginning of the stream. As far as the B1 Stap, it does look decent, but it also still looks a little bulky, a little bit cheap. So it's not really my thing. I want them to do a proper one, but I did take a look at it actually the other day at Target on the end cap and was kind of just like, why can't you be a TVC item? I'd be so happy if you were a TVC item. I could just buy you and be happy to see you. Sup, cool kids? Oh, hey, collecting Star Wars. How's it going? Glad to see you here, man. Sorry, voice to text killed the last question. It's all good, man. I wanted to know if you wanted the fight scene area or the launch scene area. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting, interesting. I think I would go with the launch area just because I think it would be cool to actually physically put that mini rig in there and it could launch out similar to like the speeder bike on the current AT-AT. If they wanted to give me an AT-AT interior playset, I would not be mad at that. Like a separate thing, kind of like the Imperial like cruiser hallways. There's so many options they could do with that kind of like playset vibe. They could do the interior of the Endor bunker. We could always go back to that. They still need to give us like some Clone Wars type of stuff, like Separatist hallways, Republic cruiser ship hallways, which are very similar to like, Imperial hallways in general. Again, like you just mentioned, they could do the interior of the AT-AT. Shit, they could do the cargo hold area of that like Gazanti like cruiser from like the Mandalorian season 2 when Bo and them like stormed it. There's so many things they could do with the play sets and stuff like that. With the 50th anniversary in 2027, focus on the main characters such as Bespin Luke, Skywalker, or Endor Han Solo, or will we get secondary characters like Ugnaughts 21B and Rancor Keeper? Yeah, I could see that. I feel like they're gonna try and celebrate all of Star Wars, not just like some of the original trilogy stuff. But I know Bespin Luke is definitely someone that collectors are looking for an upgrade for, with good reason, because that Endor Luke or that Bespin Luke that we have looks like garbage. He's pretty bad. I also personally kind of want an updated Return of the Jedi Luke, like specifically the one from like Death Star 2. It's just is really showing its age. I mean, basically all the Lukes except for like the Mandalorian, or not the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett Jedi training Luke with Grogu set. That looks good. Obviously, Tatooine Luke looks phenomenal now, but like a lot of the other Lukes are really showing their age. Even the light cruiser Luke, he looks good, but like his articulation, upper body is just like kind of like it's a kit bash of older stuff, and it's not great. So I would be here for Bespin Luke. 21B would be cool. I always really like that figure a lot too as a kid. I'm always here for more Ugnaughts and random stuff like that. The Rancor Keeper, he would be an interesting one. I don't think the Legacy Collection one's terrible, but of course it's showing a little bit of its age as well. A new Rancor Keeper and a proper Rancor will be pretty sick though. Take that HasLab one for the Black Series and scale it down for like vintage, and we will buy that thing. You don't even have to ask us to fund it. We will buy it. Do you think we would ever get a TVC Vulture droid? If not, is there one particular that you'd recommend scales well? Yeah. So there are Vulture droids, that you can get from the Clone Wars line and like Yeah, I have 2 of them. I have the Clone Wars version. I also have one from episode 1. You can find them on eBay. Sometimes they're a little bit cheap, but they roughly are probably gonna go around 80 to 100 bucks. Yeah, it's not a bad vehicle at all. I think I have a review or 2 on the channel. You can check those out and see for yourself. But they've never released it in TVC proper or like on a vintage collection box. Do Grogu armored up with the Anzellans do Grogu armored up with the Anzellans carded together. I think that would be cool. Heck, man, you could definitely fit that little speeder of theirs too on a card. I think without a doubt. Where is that thing? Yeah, that stuff is so tiny. That would definitely fit on a vintage collection bubble. And I would take it. This could be the image right here. Crop it, make it fit on a card. It'd be so good. If Star Wars is going to introduce opening credits, then why not include post-credit scenes? I don't know what to tell you, man. As they say, a good question for another time. But yeah, I did think it was a little funny as well. Glendale Target? I don't know, man. Definitely not there. I was definitely more in like the Santa Cruz and like SF area. So I think it was like technically Capitola. Sorry, voice text killed. I want to know. Yeah. All good. The Walmarts in Tampa, Florida are flooded with TVC that aren't selling at 20 bucks. Oof. But what character is it? Is it flooded with that like Mandalorian Super Commando character? Because that's not a great one. I don't know why like they decided to do cases of single figures and like certain ones. Like the 501st Trooper makes sense because those will over time sell. And even once they like kind of go on sale, like people will buy them. Like I have a Target that I've kind of been eyeing that has like literally an entire peg of those 501st Troopers. I've bought so many already, but hey man, times are a little tough and like I always will buy at least 1 or 2 at full price for sure of every figure. But if I'm going to see some sales later down the road, of course I'm going to tax that for sure. So yeah, I've been kind of like eyeing it to be like, all right, I'll see if they drop the price a little bit on these 501st Troopers and buy them. But yeah, I think that the other figures that are at that particular Walmart I'm speaking about were like a couple Cobb Vanth, I think like 1 Marin still, but like not much of anything else. But yeah, what is your Walmart? What are they holding? A TVC battle arena would be awesome. Which battle arena? Which one are you talking about, man? Are you talking about the Gladiator Pit from Mando and Grogu? Or are you talking about like Battle Geonosis battle arena? Like, yeah, do tell. Do tell. But yeah, let me get this off the screen as well. Let's move on to one of the last things I wanted to share with you guys. And it kind of has something to do with what we've been talking about. Let's just pull that up for y'all. And then we'll probably get on out of here after we answer a couple more questions or whatever else you guys got going on. But yeah, I wanted to share some of this stuff. So I was a little bit inspired because I saw this amazing movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu, and I just happened to have some vintage collection 3.75 action figures and vehicles and other stuff from back in the day that just allow me to recreate scenes from this kick-ass movie. So I had to get the AT-RT and my old legacy collection AT-AT out and just recreate this stuff. And I got to tell you, I had a lot of fun with this. And believe it or not, this was a one-trick pony. I seriously set it up, kind of got the angles that I wanted, and I took one single photo and used it. Like I just took it and I was like, that's the one. I don't even have, it looks perfect. Don't have to do anything else. No more shots, which is such a nice feeling. It doesn't always happen like that, but needless to say, I was hyped. And then of course I took it into Photoshop and did all this editing to it. The AT-AT is beautiful back there, but I had to get the background proper to get that like mountainside and all that stuff and kind of like blur it out just to make it look like Mando's running in motion and all that and add these other effects. But yeah, really happy with how this turned out. Also, Grogu technically isn't pegged onto the jetpack. when he was pegged, you couldn't really see his face or anything, and I wanted him to be in the shot just to make it a little bit more fun. So I actually kind of like propped him up here, and I don't remember if I just somehow balanced him. I think I used a piece of like tack or something like that to get him to like sit higher in the jetpack, just so he could kind of be like waving to and just having a blast like he does usually. But yeah, really happy with how this turned out. Um, Wanted to, get some nice vintage collection advertising there and just really celebrate this wonderful line and just the ability to recreate stuff like this while a movie is out. It's everything that I really love about collecting. And then I took this shot yesterday as well after the Pulse fan stream. I was just feeling a little bit more um, inspired. And yeah, I just really like this whole snow sequence from the beginning. A lot of cool stuff that was happening there with the ATRT and Din just flying around and just like taking out bucket heads and all that stuff, man. All Everything I love to see when it comes to like, Star Wars action. So I really like when he just like flies up here and knocks out this like AT-AT driver and just like falls out, and then next thing you know, he's torching up this other idiot who then falls. I also love that these two were like, when they were in the cockpit, were like kind of like they were like, "Get up there, stop him!" And they're like, "But we're pilots." And he's like, "I don't give a damn, get up there." Um, Poor chumps, they just literally got sent to their demise. So yeah, but yeah, this one I literally actually took this today before the stream, earlier today. Really happy with how it turned out. Again, yeah, I don't know, man. I just really, really enjoy having all the figures and things that I need to recreate scenes. I snuck Grogu in here because he didn't have his rondelle on the outside yet. And I actually noticed that when I was rewatching this like trailer sequence, I was like, oh, he's actually wearing that, and it's kind of peeking down, or like his like cloak is kind of coming down a little bit. So I was like, that works perfectly. I'll use that one from the armorer set. And yeah, it just worked out really nice. Yeah, really happy actually with how the effects came out here with the flame and stuff like that. I think it looks really cool. Haven't even posted this one on social media yet. This one is a debut for you guys here on the stream on YouTube. So this is fresh off the assembly line, the Toys of the Way creative assembly line. But yeah, really happy with this one too. I think I captured the movement pretty well in terms of like Din flying up and just like knocking this guy out. Yeah, man. How have you guys been enjoying these figures though? Like, what's your favorite figure that you have so far in hand from the Mandalorian and Grogu in terms of like the vintage collection stuff? Um, Going back real quick, I love the ATRT just because like it was a Clone Wars, like Revenge of the Sith like vehicle. It's everything that I love. It's like a walker, which has always been a fun design since I was a kid. Like I love the ATSTs in Return of the Jedi. Also, like the AT-ATs have always been something I love. So like this whole sequence in the movie was like wonderful. Also, like I mentioned, when saw it in IMAX 3D, this shit was crazy looking. It was awesome. Really cool stuff. See what you guys are talking about in the chat. Oh, the Mando and Grogu arena scene. Yep. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. It'd be a big set. Be a big set. Thanks, man. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks, Sci-Fi Dude. 100. This is the way. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I'm really happy with how this ATRT one turned out. I think it was really nice to just take one shot and just be like, that photo is perfect, and then just edit it up. And I think it turned out so cool. Again, it's nice to just have everything I need to like recreate a scene right off the bat. Luckily, we had those AT-ATs. Yeah, we're obviously essential for this one. We're almost halfway through the year. What are your top 3 figures released so far? Oh my gosh, July through November. That is a question. Dang. It's been pretty solid year so far. And even with the reveals from the other day, like it's going to be hard at the end of the year to pick like figure of the year because there's honestly been some good stuff. Taking a look at my shelf real quick. Like Maroc is definitely pretty up there, man. He's a pretty solid figure in terms of like, I just love the way he posed, and like taking photos of him was quite nice. Trying to think of like the all new figures. Yeah, I don't know. So far, I think Maroc might be one of my all times Because what else have we gotten? Din is not completely new, but he is a really nice figure. The ATRT is a really nice vehicle. Sand Trooper's been great. Greedo was pretty fun, but we already had him in the Cantina. What else has there been? I can't even remember, man. There's been so many figures already that it's just like my brain's like, I don't remember who's who. I'm going to go with Maroc at the moment as one of my, he might not be the best, but he's one of my favorites just because like I really like the way he posed and he looks, he's really photogenic as well. What's yours? Oh, I guess you said top 3, huh? Who else have we gotten this year? Trying to think back. Let me check my channel real quick. Let's see. Out of stuff I've reviewed. Oh, Obi-Wan as well from Revenge of the Sith. Oh, Poggle. Duh. Oh, Poggle's been awesome. He was cool. Poggle's been fantastic. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Padme, Shakti. That Padme figure is really, really good. I do love. Yeah, that portrait's fantastic. So I think I'm going to go Padme. Veers is also really nice. I do like that Veers figure. Poggle's pretty awesome too, though. All right. You know what? It's got to be Maroc, Padme, and Poggle. Yeah. Those are my top 3 at the moment. They're just all really good looking figures. Yeah. What do you have them as? Let's see. Padme, Poggle. Oh, and almost the same. Nice. Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan. Don't let Evan Mile High hear you say that. He'll have a heart attack about those knee hinges. Which again, they're not my favorite, but they don't make me lose it. I don't turn into Anakin. I hate you, but I don't like them at the same time. But right on, man. That's a solid 3 figures. I mean, that Obi-Wan is pretty spectacular otherwise. Wizard shots. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. If the U-Wing gets done, I want it with the Rogue One decals and Mando decals. It's the letter ship. Okay. I need the wait. It's the letter ship I need and the obscure figure they could do. Okay. Yeah, true. Interesting. Yeah, some of those like Rebel Pathfinders would be really cool to have too. Interesting. A snow-covered Grogu. We have one of those actually from the Mado Kreese set. But yeah, it would be fun to get another one. Maybe a sneezing Grogu. Dude, by the time we're done with this Grogu thing, we're going to have so many Grogu figures or accessories, if you will, because I don't know if he qualifies even as a figure. I don't have any from the Mandalorian Grogu, but I got Maroc, who was a recent release, and he kickstarted my interest in TVC. He is pretty amazing. Dang, that is awesome. Well, happy to have you interested in TVC and here chatting with us about TVC. And also, if any figure is going to spark your interest when it comes to the Vintage Collection 375, Maroc is definitely that figure to do it. He is pretty awesome. Obviously, I'm sure you liked Maul Shadow Lord, which was freaking a good time. Awesome, man. Are there any other figures you picked up so far? Now that you kind of like have your interest sparked by TVC? Thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate it, man. Had a good time. Had a really good time. Really excited to take a shot or two of this Anzellan ship. I'm going to have to set up kind of like a jungle scene or whatever. And unfortunately, I don't have all the Anzellans, so I don't know how I'm going to make it work. I plan to get these Mando and Grogu figs, but haven't yet. I've been picking up some older figs like Weequay Swiftmaster. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, those are always great to get. Definitely sometimes a little bit pricey to find on the secondary market or whatever. I would say, and this is something I always try to encourage, get the newer stuff now if you can, just because you don't want to have to go pay an eBay price later or something like that for some of these things. And you just never know when like something might actually hit and like everyone buys it up pretty quick. So like that first production run is gone. And they've been doing lower production run numbers now because I don't think they want to like saturate the market or whatever. So some stuff has been kind of like selling out and not getting a second run right away, which I find sometimes frustrating because like sometimes I try to budget. I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to buy like a bunch of that trooper right now. Let me buy like 8 to 16 of them and I'll buy another 16 later. And then they like sell out or just like don't do another run of it. I'm like, well, I'm not paying $25 or wherever the price is. I only had the deluxe Mando and the AT-RT, and they're both great. I had the Maldo Kreese Mando sitting in the AT-RT because of his snowy Bance details. That is brilliant, dude. I didn't even think about that. And when somebody brought up like we need a snowy Grogu, I didn't even think about like, oh dang, the snowy Grogu from the Maldo Kreese set. But like, no, that's good thinking. And I actually have a few extra of those dins from that Maldo Kreese set because I bought more than one to get multiple spiders. So maybe I'll do something similar. Cool. It's a great idea. Brilliant. Marok, Stranger, and Padme. Nice. Yeah, so far it's like been pretty good for TVC. Like we've got some solid figures that have come out, man. What do you think of the new TVC Luke figure? I think it looks pretty good, man. I'll be excited to get him in hand. Glad he comes with soft goods. I think it's great that they're giving some more air to the Empire stuff. And again, it looks like, things are balancing out a little bit in terms of like, Black Series got him a little while ago, and now we're getting him. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. His face is definitely kind of like, I don't know, a little derpy, if you will. He looks like he belongs in like Dumb and Dumber, the Star Wars version. He's got some kind of Jim Carrey vibe to his face for sure. Hello there. Well, hello there, Stormy the Stormtrooper. Sick name, man. I'm guessing you're a fan of Stormtroopers. Is there a comic book series or video game you would like to see more TVC figures from? Heck yeah. I want some Shadows of the Empire stuff. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it was one of my favorite games as a kid. N64, Shadows of the Empire was really cool. Same thing with like the Kyle Katarn figure. I loved Jedi Knight. My family wasn't like that tech advanced. Like we didn't have a computer until like kind of late. And when we finally got a computer is like when those games were just hitting. So like some of those first like LucasArts games, like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and stuff were like my everything. And then like Dark Forces and then like Jedi Knight 2. I played the shit out of that game. I loved it so much. I mean, to be able to like swing a lightsaber like that in like a video game that was like 3D, like first person, like whatever. Dude, I loved it. I loved it so much. The only thing I had prior to that was the Super Nintendo, A New Hope video game, which was one of the hardest freaking games ever. But yeah, like you could swing a saber with Luke or whatever, but it was like so 2D. It's so different. And once you were like in this immersive world, and also like those lightsaber battles in Jedi Knight, oh yeah. So yeah, I have a special place when it comes to those games. So seeing like some of those characters being released in Black Series and stuff, and not like Binge's collection is like kind of a bummer. Even though like I know they've done 375 Carl Catones back in the day, which I don't have that figure even, but like he's not that great. Like I don't let that rule of like or like thought process that Hasbro or some people might have like, oh well, you've gotten it before, don't you already have that? And it's like, yeah, but it's also like even Steve today I think showed like a picture on his Instagram of like the Sand Troopers, or maybe it was somebody else, but it was like the Sand Troopers were literally done in like 2012. It is 2026. And it was a grip ago. So much has changed in terms of like action figure technology and stuff like that. So it's like, sure, we got a Kakutan back in the day, but guess what? He freaking sucks now compared to like some of the figures we're getting. Like some of the top threes that y'all are like talking about are like premium freaking figures. Like the likeness is there, the articulation is fucking awesome. Like, so I don't know, man. And like, don't even get me started on the only Dash Rendar we have in 375. Like, man, he looks as buff as Rada, and he's like half the size. I picked up some of the Mandalorian Shriek Hawks, but I've mostly been getting stuff before TVC. I got the Jodo cast and the Tusken Lady with Child, but was disappointed in Tusken's articulation. Oh, yeah. Which Tuskens did you get? Just by chance. If you got the ones on card, they're not that great. The ones in the 4-pack are a little bit better because they updated the leg articulation. But yeah, I'll say that the arms are pretty good. I think I have a video on the channel where I showed like I updated the wrists, where I bought some accessories off this site called Marauder Gun Rodders. They have a bunch of like ammo pouches and little other 375 accessories you can buy, but I bought hands that have like hinges on them and swapped out the hands on those Tuscans. So mine can actually like point the rifle and like do better stuff with the gaffy sticks and whatever. But yeah, the Street Hawks are really good. They're great figures. Oh, and I got the TVC Tuscan Warrior from the Book of Boba Fett, which was really cool. Yeah, yeah, that character was amazing. More Tuscans are awesome. Did you have the Bantha yet? I think it might be back on Hasbro Pulse. Really good creature for sure, and obviously an essential Tuscan uh, creature to have. Shriekhawk Fork Pack is underrated. No, I totally agree. I saw they're kind of like on sale on Amazon. I think I'm gonna pick up another one just because, like, yeah, it's an underrated set. I wouldn't have mind having more of those and maybe like customizing some of them for other covert Mandos. Luckily, those older figures were at my local comic book store for cheaper than eBay prices. Right on, man. That's the joy of being able to go to some actual places like, comic shops and like toy stores like that. There's actually one out in my area that I've been meaning to go to called Tashi Station. Really cool stuff there. Yeah, I want to go check them out. It's been a while since I've been through. Just want to see what they got. But yeah, they carry even like TVC figures on card, like current ones and stuff like that. But they have loose baggy figures as well. Yeah, I just kind of want to go see what they have in stock. It's been a while. Yeah, some more Shriek female Mandalorians would be good. Just more of those figures in general, I think would not be bad. Anytime, man. It's a cool name. I love Stormtroopers too. One thing that I love to collect in terms of TVC is Stormtrooper card backs. Like probably hard to see, but like that entire back wall there is pretty much every Imperial trooper that has been released on a vintage collection card to date. So it's not just Stormtroopers. Like I have the Death Star Commando back there, the AT Commander prior to the recent Veers update, all sorts of stuff back there, Death Star gunners, TIE pilots, etc. But Stormtroopers are one of my favorite things on card backs. All the variants, all Stormtroopers. I love Stormtroopers a lot. It was something that I always wanted as a kid to have multiples of them. And it wasn't until I was older now where I have displays back there, like my Imperial displays, two of them directly behind me with like lines of Stormtroopers. So yeah, Stormtroopers are rad. I'd like more Jedi Outcasts and Survivor figs. Yep. I could not agree more. Yeah, they really kind of they started with some like gaming figures from like Jedi Survivor and stuff like that, and then just kind of like slowed down and then like they go back and forth a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely want to see some more of those for sure. Okay. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the Tuscan lady from like the old Attack of the Clones. Gotcha. Yeah, she's not great. She's a good display piece, and she comes with a like backpack where you can put the like youngling or like young Tuscan in, which is neat. Yeah, she's a statue or a salt shaker, really, if that. I have two of them, but yeah, they're good to like just have there as like display items, but not much going on. I'm in the baby birds. Okay, right on, right on. Nice. Awesome, man. I figured you liked Stormtroopers. Something about your name just says I like Stormtroopers. So that's cool, man. Stormtroopers and TVC are great. Right on. So yeah, guys, we've been going for dang, about almost 3 hours now. So it's been good times. I just wanted to finish off by saying, like, like Mandalorian Grogu is great. A lot of good figures or characters that we could be getting from this show. I hope Hasbro continues to fill out that world for us. I love having stuff like this in the line. Just allows me to be creative, recreate these amazing scenes. Like everyone's sharing special moments right now with like their family and going to see this movie, or even have discussions like this online where we just talk about stuff either we like or don't like when it comes to Star Wars. For the most part, we're liking it. So that's positive. And yeah, again, just continuing to enjoy this thing that many of us have enjoyed for a good chunk of our lives. Like I've been collecting and just liking Star Wars stuff for a long time. As Obi-Wan said, a long time, a long time. And yeah, man. Again, back to like Mando and Grogu. Like there's just a good amount of stuff that I do want to see from this movie. I hope Hasbro can continue to like find creative ways to get us stuff. Like Ward's X-Wing, a U-Wing would be great, more versions of Zeb, um, Rada the Hutt, obviously, more of those like mercenary droids and just all the things, more Grogu, more Nzellans, more of this thing, but a proper one in TVC. I'm looking forward to taking a picture of this though. It was definitely a fun project. And definitely be on the lookout. I'll try to either post pictures or make a small video about that. But I've got a few other things on the list that I got to get to, like this test display that I kind of want to like share more updates about, and just like the process behind it as well. But yeah, man, I do appreciate every one of you guys hanging out, chilling, chatting, asking questions. It's been a good time. I will probably take a little break and get back to live streams in like a week or so. I have some really good ideas in terms of people I kind of want to like talk to, or just more things TVC related and just Star Wars, obviously in general, that I kind of want to like talk about in terms of like um, media figures we want to see, but also just like the creative side of collecting in Star Wars in general. So definitely be on the lookout for that. There will be more live streams coming because it seems like you guys do enjoy these, and it's always a good time to just chat. But again, appreciate you guys. And with all that being said, may the force be with you, and I will catch you on the next stream. Thanks.